My wife proposed we sleep with another girl. Is she the a-hole or maybe the hero? This comes from throwaway confused hubby. Who says? Glad you liked that one, boys.
Happy to help.
My wife Ash and I have been married for 8 years.
And wanted to spice things up.
Yep, apparently. I always knew she had bisexual interest or at least was bi-curious.
Not Riley and I making eye contact.
I always knew she had bisexual interest or is at least bi-curious, but it never bothered me. In the past, we visited strip clubs as well, and she enjoyed private dances. Last week, my wife... Dude, I feel like I'm on the outside looking in right now. Dude, I feel like we got some inside thing going on. Last week, Ashley told me that she'd been thinking for a while if we could maybe consider occasionally including another girl in our spicy sleep life.
One of us.
I asked her what she meant, and she brought up that her friend Claire had expressed interest in us. I know Claire, and she always seemed a quiet, unassuming woman, and I was surprised by this.
Amazing. Who would have guessed?
Lady in the streets.
Praising the sheets. My wife said that before they could further talk about this, she wanted to know and have my opinion. She said she thinks she would really like that, and it could spice up our bedroom. I was more concerned than anything else. I read many horror stories about 3 people sleeping together, going wrong, and poly relationships never working out in the end.
We have read many stories that...
We have read many of these.
Yes. Yeah.
The evidence is on our catalog.
It is rough. And I would say the fact that it is a friend is not a tick in favor of this engagement.
Give me a percentage of a success rate that this is going to be okay.
10%.
This situation right
10%.
here?
If it goes through, 10%.
20, maybe more.
25.
5.
We know like 8. That's the number that we've seen.
But then a friend?
Yeah. The poly relationships.
Oh, poly relationships in general, maybe 20%. But this specific scenario, working out 10%. It's just so, like, if this is a close friend and your partner is like bi, like squarely bi, the chances of there being feelings is high.
True. Catch feelings. My wife countered that she doesn't want a poly relationship, just a sexual thing. And that she understands my concerns and that if I fear it, it would damage our marriage. She will take it off the table without any ill feelings.
No hard feelings.
Do it with someone you don't know.
Stranger. She still asked me to seriously consider it because it could be something beautiful to share. And she wants me in on it because she wouldn't enjoy it at all if I consented but kept out. Oh, I guess like...
It's just like watching in the corner.
I read that as like, he's like, yeah, you can hook up with her, but like, I don't want the 3 of us together.
Yeah, he's like in the closet peeking out.
Why would they? So either both of us are in or the thing is off. She also said we'll be extensively talking with Claire before anything happens and discussing boundaries, limits, and conditions.
Yeah.
Ash is a very logical woman, so logical that we joke that like all engineers, she doesn't live, she functions.
So if she's an engineer... Sorry, engineers, but she probably doesn't have a lot of emotional empathy.
Yeah, robot. She's a robot.
IQ?
That is a wild.
Okay, never mind. But she said that she's so functional, she doesn't live. She just functions.
I mean, that
so
is...
like, she wouldn't have any emotions going into it.
Engineers are not known for their emotional intelligence.
I think engineers, specifically people who went to school as engineers, have no emotions.
I studied mechanical engineering. I was a terrible engineer.
Yes, it was all jokes. We engineer content now.
Yeah,
very different
and have emotions.
That's right, many emotions.
Sorry, I mean,
I am drawn to trust her on the logistics and emotional aspects of this. I brought up if she could get jealous of Claire if I did anything with her. She replied she actually fantasized about it.
And for that reason, I'm
in. Take all my money.
Shut up and take my money.
She also reiterated that Claire is not taking the place of any of us. She is an extra, and she knows it. Like the strippers we visited. Damn.
Okay. So, like, she is, like, you are effing each other through her. She is like one of those like Chinese finger traps.
Ooh,
and you're the fingers stuck in the middle.
You know how those you got those 3 balls and it's like you let one go?
Two.
No. Wait, what?
Nice.
But like you have the balls, and it's like you
The
let
Newton
one
balls,
go,
yeah,
and
Newton
you
balls.
go boom, and it goes. The energy goes through it.
So she's the two balls in the middle.
No, she's the one ball. Oh, do you need two for that?
You usually have 4.
Oh, I was
You
just
can
thinking
do
need
it
one.
with you could do it with 3 though.
Okay. Well, she's the ones in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm leaning to trust Ash and I'm considering it, but I still have lots of concerns. What should I do? Should I at least talk about this with both of them before giving them the green light? And we have some comments that I'm assuming are going to be juicy as long as an update in 4 days after this. But let's stop right here. Everyone right now watching, please share in the comments. Sam, Riley, should OP go forward with this?
If it isn't an F yes, it's probably a no.
Yeah.
You know, like at least at this point, right? And I also think doing a group project in this nature is probably better with someone that you don't know in case you fail, you know?
Yeah.
If he doesn't do it though, the wife may grow resentment because she's been fantasizing about it and has been wanting it for a while.
But I don't think that's well, but like, all right, maybe do it, but don't do it with a friend. Do it with someone else. Do it like
Just do it.
But is that what is, I feel like,
does she specifically want the friend? If she specifically wants the friend, I think that might be a problem.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
I mean, I think she wants the, I don't know if she would not want to do it without, but I think I would guess OP is more concerned with the fact that there's a in like period.
Yes.
Versus it being with a friend or not.
Well, I mean, if
Not that helps.
yeah, I think it's like you need to think about it, so don't rush into anything. It sounds like OP is kind of concerned about doing something like this, but I think if you're gonna do a threesome, do it with someone you don't know.
Instead of stranger danger, stranger banger.
Stranger banger.
Mhm.
Stranger banger.
Is it a banger?
But we've got some relevant comments, ladies and gentlemen. Are You Logical says, there's always a risk that you'll ruin the relationship. If you're both happy to gamble on that, then go for it. Samry says, you got to think, does your wife want a real threesome or just to be with a woman while you are in the room? In other words, will she be okay if during your encounter, you start banging Claire like a crazed hound and enjoying it? What a description. Or would that be a big no-no for her?
I think there's a way to like focus on one partner, like to make and like make sure that person is taken care of, and then like have an ancillary like satellite thing, and you know.
Good breakdown.
Have no idea.
It almost sounds like never mind.
Yeah, but it wasn't for me, it was for a friend.
Next, would she then want to do a threesome with another guy instead of a girl? Would you be okay with another guy banging your wife like a cheap tambourine? Bro, this commenter is expressive in their writing. On the surface, it sounds like a penthouse letter gone to reality, but the potential fallout is huge. OP replies to this. She wants me to bang Claire, and this is the part that actually troubles me the most. So
She
to be
fantasizes about
the two of
the
them.
two of them. She wants to watch.
Yeah.
So she's in the closet looking and peeking through and
That, yes.
Or-
Scratching the DJ, scratching the record. Let me ask you, boys. Let me ask you this, boys. And everyone watching right now, do they go through with it?
nah, dude.
Yeah, I think it's a no. I think OP
Therapy.
is therapy. I think OP is too distraught at this and the fact that he wasn't like, that's perfect. Let's do it. I'm totally aligned.
And like the commenter has a great point. Like we've read stories where a partner was like, yeah, let's do it. I'm so excited. And then sees their husband banging that third like a cheap tambourine, like a cheap tambourine. Or tangerine. Crushing that tangerine, squeezing
Wait,
all the
don't
juice
say
out
that.
of it. And
So many tangerines in the house
dude,
right
and
now.
they're dripping.
Oh, dude, wet.
But like and then that totally ruined their marriage. She couldn't look at him the same way.
I changed my mind.
And like the thing is, when you're entering territory that's uncharted, there will be uncharted feelings that will arise.
True. I feel like this could all go south.
Yeah, it could. Oh, there's an update. There's an update.
4 days later, I spoke with Ash, my wife, at length about her proposal and her friend Claire. I brought up some points that you guys made and some that I was concerned about, such as, would this greenlight her bringing other people, including men, in our relationship? Why Claire? That's Great question. Do I have to be concerned about the two of them having feelings I don't know about? Do I have to be concerned about Ash's feelings potentially getting hurt if I do anything with Claire? I didn't put these as accusations, but as concerns on my part, which Ash replied to very exhaustively. First, it didn't have to be Claire. She's very much into the idea and available, but she has already accounted me not wanting her and won't take it personally if that's not the case. I will say so far they have everyone involved has been like pretty mature and adult about it so far.
We're adults.
Which is not always the case.
Not always the case.
For now, we have decided for me to meet up with Claire, both on my own with Ash's knowledge to discuss things, and also for me to know her better, and with my wife if things progress. Deal hands?
I mean, everyone's acting very mature.
So mature.
I think
Considering it.
maybe things are back on the table. I don't know.
About them having feelings, Ash told me that Claire is basically a seasoned unicorn.
Oh, I thought a sister.
Oh.
A season, and a unicorn is like a third.
Yes, yeah. To be clear, it's like a third person in the the devils.
Wait, so like, what does the unicorn have to do with it?
So the unicorn is the third person. So if a couple is hooking up with someone, that person is referred to as the unicorn.
Okay. So she's done this a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's she has
Okay.
she has a lot of experience. A lot of experience
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
in being the third person getting into threesome.
Whoa, you might not need another dude. You're good.
She never caught feelings for any couple and is good at distancing herself if anyone catches feelings. As for Ash, she admitted her only feelings for Claire are that of a friend and admittedly some attraction.
Okay.
As for me and Claire doing things, Ash has outlined her desires as two. Her banging an attractive woman and her watching me banging an attractive woman. Banging an attractive woman all around.
Yeah, baby.
Sort of something voyeuristic, and she said she dreamed and fantasized about this for a while now, basically fantasizing about me cheating on her, but with her approval. I am still wrapping my head around all of this, and she assured me if I get too uncomfortable about this, we can shelve the whole thing, no questions asked.
Why shelve? Why not throw it away?
Good question.
Oh, yeah. Take it. Let's take it to the finish line, right? Commit. She assured me. Yeah, the shelf implies we could always
Pick it
take
up.
it back down later.
Yeah. It's there if you ever want it.
It's always there.
I think it's more like, hey, if you want to pick it up, it's there.
But like, if he's uncomfortable now, what will change his mind later?
I don't know. People change their minds about a lot of things. You live and you grow, and you learn, and sometimes
I'm a
things that you
unicorn.
thought were impossible, mythical even, become true. Unicorns exist.
Magic. Yeah, they do. She assured me that her fantasies are not what's compromising our marriage for a couple of O's if I'm not up to it. She says that I have the last say and she'll respect it no matter what. This reassures me. And now we are still in the considering it stage. We do have some comments and we do have an update.
Another update?
Another update.
I think it seems more possible now than it did in the first one. I'm now up to 20% of it being okay.
I think that they could do it and have it work. Now, there could be a fallout of like one person catching feelings or something going awry, but I think they would be able to resolve it and move on from it if something went wrong,
I have an
given their
idea.
maturity.
I have
Talk
an
to me.
idea.
Talk to me.
I have an idea. So one of my friends is a corn star, and he has shown me like some of his scripts, right? Where it's like, okay, like this is like, oh, like anyone got pizza or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, you're going to be doing this position for like 3 minutes and then this position. And there's like whatever breaks between the scenes and stuff. What if they scripted out what would happen during the encounter to make sure that like, it's like, okay, missionary 5 minutes, I don't know, doggy 10 minutes, froggy 12 minutes.
Froggy.
Yeah. I'll educate you later.
Wink.
Pause.
Pause. Oh, I totally missed that. That's amazing.
But like, what if they like kind of like they wrote the script for what the encounter would look like, so there's more guardrails against like someone being like, oh wow, that tambourine is being banged on.
That is a great point. Back to your earlier point, when you're at a point where you have to script this out to like feel good about it, is it even worth it?
I mean, is a play worth it if you have to script it out?
Totally different.
Would Citizen Kane be ever made if it wasn't scripted?
Never even seen it.
Rosebud.
But
I have no idea what's happening right now, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the Sam and Riley inside jokes episode, okay?
we just have a mirror.
I am on the outside looking in, okay?
I've been on the outside for so long. I haven't been able to look at Riley's eyes in like what, weeks?
Weeks.
You deserve this moment.
Yeah.
I'm just stating facts.
Yeah.
I'm just stating facts.
One will all be together.
Together?
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Let's get to these comments. The Leo Scribe says, I wouldn't agree to do it with Claire. That's a recipe for disaster. My advice is if you agree, make a rule that nothing happens with anyone you two come in contact with and no one more than once. No friends, no coworkers, anything like that.
Agreed.
Yeah, that would remove
mitigate a lot of the issues.
Mitigate, yeah. I've read a lot of stories about bringing in someone close because they won't catch feelings or because they've done it before and it always ends bad. Opie says, wife proposed hiring an escort. Oh, wow. But for many people here, that's a bad idea also. Yeah, that
I feel like that's actually the best idea.
Yeah.
yeah,
like,
that is actually a lot more controlled.
Yeah.
they like going to the strip club. They get to pick one together and then voila. It's
Honestly, that feels like the best idea.
a fun date.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that might be. Yeah. Because it does kind of fit the, like, hey, you're just here to, like,
You are an object of our pleasure. You
basically
are subhuman.
But like versus like if a person wants to do this, they have to have some level of like personal want and desire, and it could go past the line
Yeah.
of being
But if
reined
you
in.
have an escort, like it will like the chances of emotional lines being crossed is like almost non-existent.
That's true.
It's like, I think it goes, friend is the most risky.
Yeah.
Stranger is infinitely less risky, but escort is like 0.
Is there some sort of like meetup for these people? They can just go to
Yeah,
they go to
yeah,
freaking Roscoe's and just figure out how to bang each other.
There's throuple sites that you can swipe through. There's actually a subreddit called Hot Wife where you can like be a third.
Where'd you find out about that?
I had a friend do it.
A friend, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Whatever you say.
it was a friend. It was a friend.
It wasn't me.
Named Damn. But, gentlemen, everyone watching in the comments, we have an update 5 days after the most recent update.
boy.
That's time.
That's some time. Hey guys, after reading many comments and threads, I decided that having a threesome with another woman like my wife asked is not a good idea, and I don't feel comfortable going through with it or talking any more about it.
Smart.
I'm
Smart.
considering asking my wife if we should cut off the other woman, maybe stop some activities we did before, visiting strip clubs, and perhaps consider putting some hard limits and boundaries on our life. I don't want to risk what we have for a bit of fun, and you guys help me realize that. I plan to have
strip clubs would jeopardize a relationship.
I was going to ask the same thing because that seemed like all the stuff that they were doing seemingly with no issues before the whole unicorn
It
incident
feels like now
was introduced.
OP's like scared of rocking it and now is like really restricting.
Yes. Which,
That's not fair.
To be fair, I've never gone to a strip club with a partner, so like, I don't know, but
yeah, I plan to have some big talks with her about how I am concerned I might be losing her, even though she says everything is all right and never seemed unhappy, and that I don't want for anything to cause a rift between us. Thank you for all the advice and comments. And there's a few quick relevant comments to close us out here. Beneficial Syrup 869 says, good for you doing what you want to do and what's best for your relationship. OP, thank you. Time to put some stoppers. Odd Mastodon 1212 says, good for you. OP, if you are not comfortable, that is not enough of a reason to do it. Sometimes things seem to be going amazingly well with a couple and they're having the best they've ever had, etc. So they take off the guardrails on the marriage. Do not take off the guardrails. Update me on the next update. And Big Turk says, I hate to tell you, but if it's in her head, she's not going to let it go. OP says she will have to. She said we would shelve the thing if I didn't feel comfortable. And she's always been a woman of her word.
I don't think that last comment's fair. I think you can bring something up, and if your partner's not okay with it, then like that's what communication looks like.
Yeah.
And that's healthy.
It's like, hey, I have this desire. How can we?
I want to do this thing, but it's, I wanted to bring it to the table and only do it if we're mutually on board and all that good stuff. Do we think their marriage We'll stand the
I think
test
it's
of time.
fine. Yeah, I think it's fine.
Right?
I think you could bring up the idea of a threesome and it's okay.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's smart that he's limiting these things because the reason why she fantasizes it probably is because she went to those places and then stopping it back. But I am curious. I honestly don't think it's going to work out very well because he put a hard stop on it whenever she was like, let's like be curious. Let's figure it out. And he's like, this is what their life was before. She wanted it to be this and now it's this.
Yeah.
So I don't know how well it's going
Is
to.
she going to take that poorly?
Yeah.
It's complicated.
I could foresee some issues because then she's like, hey, going to the strip club and doing other things, like this is stuff they did all before this unicorn incident happened.
Mm-hmm.
So is she now going to feel resentment or like feel punished?
Yeah.
Even I would say though, this might be, I'm curious to ask the two of you, this might be the most mature / best ending of a possible threesome I remember reading on the show.
Remarkable.
I think this is how all threesome conversations should be conducted.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's textbook good communication.
Definitely. And like to the wife's credit, I do think she communicated things very well and was like, hey, I am putting on the table, you know, my wants on this here, but I'm trying to do it in a way that's mature and
Mm-hmm.
respectful.
And it's a beautiful textbook example that it's okay to pull out.
Tell him.
Beautiful.
You know what else is beautiful?
What?
Subscribing!
That is true, guys.
Yeah, if you haven't smashed that subscribe button, what are you doing?
Yeah, let's make this a foursome. Me, Sam, Riley, and you subscribing, all right? So join the fam and hit subscribe.
Get on in here. It's wet, wild, and a good time.
Oh, goodness. But you know what else is wet, wild, and a great time?
This next story.
Let's get it.
I opened my marriage and my wife fell in love with their side piece. So should I stay or should I go? This is OKOP, where we tell the funniest stories on earth. I'm Sam.
I'm John.
And today we're actually with some guests, Sarah and Josh from this podcast. Will save this relationship.
A podcast will save our relationship, right?
A podcast will save.
It's wordy. You're
Run
good.
it back.
Don't worry.
A podcast will save our relationship.
No worries.
Okay.
They'll get it.
I'm here with a podcast will save our relationship.
You're getting warmer there.
So close.
A podcast will save this relationship.
We did it.
We
did
got
it. We got to
there.
keep that in. It's too hilarious.
I've been married to D. This is nuts. Is that a joke in there?
I've been married to D's nuts for 5 years.
5 years too many, mind you.
I've been married to D for 5 years, and we are both in our mid-30s. Last year, Dee told me she thinks she is bisexual and would like to explore having a relationship with a woman. I asked if she wanted to explore as in a hookup or a real relationship, to which she replied, an actual relationship. She felt she had so much love to share, but my concern was if she had enough time to share. And I said I wasn't on board and I thought the subject was closed. So basically, he's worried if he's going to have enough attention from his wife.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. I think it's a fair, yeah.
Yeah. Fair. Are we seeing any red flags yet?
I'm a pansexual woman in a straight relationship for 5 years, and I don't know. It depends on the boundaries in the relationship.
Well, I'm ready to drop the bomb on Sarah soon that actually I've been thinking about.
Oh God!
Uh-oh. Whoa.
Oh no!
Hot tea alert.
I didn't mean for it to be so gosh dang public, but I mean it's topic of conversation, right?
That's so you to drop it on me on a podcast.
Josh secretly submitted this story.
Yeah, I wrote the story.
About 4 months ago, Dee brought it up again and said she would be happy with just a friends with benefit arrangement and not an actual relationship. So she's downgrading a little bit. I was still hesitant, but it was a constant topic that kept coming up. I relented under the conditions. We do our research, books, podcasts, and see a couples counselor before opening up. So I guess mandatory reading is
That's
watch
fair.
a lot
this
of paperwork.
podcast.
I think they need a podcast to save the relationship.
do.
Yeah, exactly. The podcast will save the relationship.
Podcasting's important.
Podcasts are super important, except for all the big ones, but ours is.
Except for everyone else other than ours.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I don't think if you're going to Joe Rogan for your relationship advice and it's a polyamorous relationship, it's not going to end well, I feel like.
Eat elk meat. That's the solution. We solved it. Thanks, Joe Rogan.
Dee was ecstatic, and we dove into several books and found a great therapist trying to do things right. One of the topics our therapist brought up was why we are opening up and if there was someone either of us had in mind. Dee admitted that she had someone she had been talking to who had encouraged her to open our relationship.
That's a little suspect already. If there's already an outside player that's not a professional, I feel like you're tainted at that point. It's gone. It's over.
It's brutal.
It feels
out
like insider trading or something, you
Yeah.
know? This was a shock to hear for the first time, and our therapist said this was troublesome. After that first session, I confronted Dee and asked if she had done more than talk to this friend. And she swore that was all she had done. Do we believe her?
Lies.
Oh, lies!
Don't believe. No believe.
I ain't buying it.
Not liking the foreshadowing. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, yo.
Red flag. We're gonna get red flags. Red flag. I asked to see her phone, and she unlocked it and handed it to me. She had been talking with Kim for about a year, but there wasn't anything incriminating and no apparent gap in the messages, just a two-way crush between them. There was a message from Kim right before this last poly bombing episode where Kim said for Dee to initiate sex with me more often to soften me up.
Soften me up is very.
Is that a good tactic?
I don't. I guess. I mean, I guess any tactic that gets you in bed is a good tactic. No, that's not true. Don't actually quote me on that.
What the
I thought.
Josh.
Sorry, hold on.
What?
Wait, I rescind my own sentence.
Don't clip it. Don't
Any
clip
tactic that gets someone
Please.
in bed is a good tactic. Josh, 2023.
God damn it.
Whoa.
Josh, I couldn't see if like Bill Cosby took over your mic for a second because I can't
The
see
camera
your
went out
video.
for
The
us,
camera
but-
went out.
It was a deep fake, is what that was. Yeah, that was.
Bill Cosby is deep faking as Josh.
Yo, 5 years from now, it comes out. Gosh,
This
just waves of articles. All from this one clip. Oh.
A podcast will ruin this relationship.
What I did find on Dee's phone was 3 dating apps with Dee's profile on her phone. This caused a brief argument about jumping the gun, with Dee agreeing to delete the apps until after we open. Is it cheating to have a dating app, you think?
It depends, I think, in the relationship, but I would say so.
Well, to have and use it, right?
Have and use it?
Have an open profile.
But they talked about dating other people, but they didn't officially agree on it. And
Yes,
she's kind of like
right?
doing
Yeah.
like, she's like laying the ground floor so she can take off running.
I think it's a little, only because like it's not official. I mean, it's not like you're gonna write it in paper, like have a contract, like now it's open. But I feel like until it's confirmed like 100%, I think there's a little bit of wiggle room of like maybe,
Yeah.
maybe you shouldn't be already looking around, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like a first base cheating.
First base, right? The first base of cheating.
Yeah, first base
Right.
of cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Second base is meeting up. Third base, kissing.
Yeah, what's a home run?
Home run fisting. All right, 3 months go by, and we are getting closer to the opening, and Dee is acting like it's Christmas time.
You walk down the stairs Christmas morning, it's just a bunch of naked bodies underneath the tree. Is that what's like? Is that the Christmas
Josh, that sounds horrific. That sounds like a horror movie.
Our last counseling session, we went over our agreements and boundaries, and we got down to our messy list. Coworkers, relatives, close friends, exes, especially, and I wanted to add Kim to the list. Dee blew up, especially when her therapist said it was a reasonable request. Dee wouldn't speak to me on the way home, but when we got there, she let me have it. I even showed her in 2 of the books we had read where it said opening up for a specific person was a bad idea. I basically said it was a line in the sand for me. I would just be happy remaining monogamous. She got mad and slept in the spare bedroom and would hardly talk to me for 2 days.
I thought you were gonna say and slept with everyone else.
And slept with Kim.
Yep.
She went downstairs to all those cages under the Christmas tree.
Help me.
Finally, she gave in and agreed to Kim being on the messy list, and we are officially open. A couple of days later, Dee told me she had a date, and it seemed a bit quick to me. While she was in the shower, I decided to check her phone, but the unlock code had changed.
Oh,
Another red flag. That night, I looked at her phone. The dating apps were still gone, and there were messages between her and Kim trash talking me and planning their dates. There were also references to having again.
there you go.
I've read too many of these. There's like if you're just bounce at that point. Like if you want to go and cheat, just break up with the person and not cheat.
But what if the secret makes it hotter?
And you're a freak. I don't know what to tell. Like I mean, then
you're even freakier than Josh, okay?
But isn't opening up the relationship make it not cheating? So wouldn't that also negate from the cheating aspect?
But they
hasn't
before it was open.
That's what we just found out. Yeah.
so that's why you open up the relationship so you can negate the cheating that happened earlier. And then you just say it happened, at that 1 second once it started, actually.
But once it's official, it'll negate the magic of sneaking around.
Yeah. There's I don't think there's no like eliminating the back taxes, you know? Like
you
still
go get
have to
Wesley
pay.
sniped.
Yeah, you're gonna get Wesley Snipes, dude. Wesley Snipes was Blade, right?
Huh?
Wesley Snipes was Blade from Blade.
I don't know.
Yes, he is.
So I felt like a chump, and so I emailed the screenshots to my phone. The two of them played me like a fiddle, and not in the fun way. I stewed on it all night and part of the next day. Then I called a lawyer and had him start drawing up divorce papers. The lawyer was a peach. Not only did he put Rush on it, but they served Dee at our house just 2 hours before her date with Kim. Attached to the divorce papers was a printout of the last text I read. She found me sitting on the patio. She was crying, but I didn't know if they were fake tears or not. When she asked, I lied and said, I knew about it all along. I said, it just means we won't be married anymore, and you can have the freedom to hook up whenever or with whoever you want. Just think of us as friends with benefits. Oh, damn. So they're still going to kind of be together.
Whoa.
Oh, so he's like, I still want to hit that, though. Listen, I know you broke my heart. I still got to get in that, though.
Yeah. I got up to go have dinner with some friends and told her she needed to hurry and fix her face. She was going to be at Kim's house on time. She got home earlier than I thought she would and wanted to talk, but I went to bed and said we could talk tomorrow. Her eyes were all red and her makeup was smeared. I still felt gutted, but I wasn't going to let her see that. And there is a big, fat, juicy update and another update and another update. There's 3 updates. So we're going to see this saga unfold. But what do you think? Should OP have left D?
Earlier, yeah.
Yeah, like super early. Yeah, wait, yeah, that's yes.
But she's like, hey, I want an open relationship. And he's like, nah, not feeling it. It's done.
Yeah, and
done.
like being
Sticking fork in it.
pressured into that isn't really consent at that point. If you're
No.
being pressured into this like situation,
Yeah.
I'm baffled at a lot of the decisions made on D's end, I guess. There's a special kind of evil of like opening the relationship and then still mocking your partner to the person you're trying to fuck over at that point.
I'm not surprised that she was crying. I see videos all the time of dudes that are like being caught cheating and they're throwing like the biggest temper tantrum you've ever seen a human being throw. I think that happens all the time. She could very well be actually sad, but I don't think it matters. She cheated a lot of times and she deceived him many, many times.
I think it's like the deception that, like the consistent deception that's really effed up. But all right, second question I have before we get into this update is friends with benefits?
That was wild.
Like,
have
is
some
that
self-respect,
something
my
that
guy.
seems like a good...
so good.
Yeah, damn.
I want that. Like, why find someone else? I mean, if you like at that
Move
point,
do
put in a
this.
little bit more effort.
But maybe he's thinking he could be like the meat in the middle.
This is a compromise, is what I'm hearing.
Listen, you can lie to me, you can cheat on me, you can mock me behind my back, but it's okay. We'll still be friends. That's fine.
Okay, so friends with benefits, bad idea.
Yeah.
Very bad idea.
Yes.
Okay,
Very
all right,
much
all
so. Yeah.
Let us know in the comments if you think differently.
Please explain your argument.
But
so.
let's get into this update. So I said the woman Kim, who was pushing her to open our marriage, was on our messy list, and she finally agreed. Within a week, she already had a date. So this is the context that we got from the last one. I felt betrayed and got served the divorce papers the day of her date with Kim. So the next morning started off on a negative foot. I asked her if Kim was worth throwing the last 5 years into the gutter. Then I started reading some of the texts where Kim and she were planning to open our marriage and hook up again, and some of the disparaging remarks about me between them. And so when I found all this out, I started planning a divorce since she lied, then broke our agreements, especially about the messy list, which I considered cheating. Dee said she was still very much in love with me and didn't want a divorce. She wanted to go back to our marriage counselor and work things out. I told her I couldn't be married to a liar and a cheater, and she was the one who burnt down the pledge, and now we just need to move on. If we could be civil about it, I was open to a friends with benefits / roommate with benefits arrangement, and we could cohabitate and split the bills 50-50.
We still got to split rent halfway down the middle.
Rent's due on the first.
This side of the apartment's mine. That one's yours.
I also love it's like, hey, we couldn't be married, but maybe we could be friends with benefits. But if we can't be friends, let's just be roommates with benefits.
I'll do you one better. I'll be your landlord. Like, why would you? Like, that's not great.
Oh, your water heater's broken. Oh.
I know one way you could pay for rent this month.
Yeah.
All right. So here is another update. And I just got to do a little gut check. Roommate with benefits. Good idea or bad idea?
The worst idea I've ever heard.
That's insane.
They need to like double up on that couples therapy probably.
Yeah.
But let's get into the next update. So I hear what all the comments are saying, but at this point, I can't legally just kick her out. But I've got our finances separated, all the credit cards canceled, and half of the money has been moved to a separate account. I told Dee she could stay on my insurance till the first of the year. Our regular counseling session is on Tuesday, and I've already emailed our therapist with a heads up on our relationship change.
I want that email so bad.
What's the Facebook status update of?
Yeah, complicated.
Yeah, landlord with benefits.
I moved all of Dee's things into the spare bedroom. The last couple of days, I've been love bombed. Dee wants to pump the brakes now on the open relationship and put the divorce on hold. I let her know that both of those ships have long since sailed, and we would just have to ride them out and see where they would take us. That seems oddly romantic. Like the ships are sailing away, but we're on the ship together, and it's kind of romantic.
There is a weird longing here, you know. And I mean, I assume it's difficult to like move on from a person you've been with for 5 years.
Yeah.
The amount of damage that's been done here seems like, and again, it's I don't want to blame this guy for still doing this, but like I feel
Victim
horrible.
blaming Josh.
No, I'm
Here
not
he
victim
comes.
blaming. Shut.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like he's making some poor decisions here, right? I mean, like I want to hear from you guys in the comments if you believe that too, but it can't be a good idea to stay friends with benefits after someone has repeatedly lied to you.
Distance needs to be a thing here. I feel like that's the healthiest thing to do is to maintain distance, you know, move on a little
Distance,
bit. Yeah.
yes, but it is unlikely that we would get back together where we are. Last night, she got all made up and put on my favorite outfit. Probably some of the hottest benefits we ever had, including her initiating a couple of things that were on her taboo list. So she's doing some things that he's wanted for ages, I guess, and she's putting it all on the line.
No. Whatever kinks that you wanted to do are now being used against you in an attempt to try and keep you there.
I think they should stay together now. I've flipped.
Sarah's like, you know what? Fully on board.
They should be together because they both have zero self-respect.
Damn, so much in common. But he got everything on his taboo list. I don't know.
Christmas came early.
Yeah, Christmas came early, and so did he. And then more this morning when we woke up. I gotta say that my friends have really been there for me these last 6 months. Most of them have been encouraging me to stay steady on the divorce. Good friends. My sister-in-law has told me recently that her sister has had a crush on me for the longest time and wants to set me up with her. Wait, my sister-in-law told me that her sister, so his
Oh my God, wait.
wife?
Wait a minute.
Okay,
Hold on.
wife.
Math is mathing.
But possibly more sisters.
So his wife's sister is setting it up with her sister.
Another sister.
This is gross now.
It's his wife's sister.
That'd be great.
I thought I was.
My sister-in-law. What kind of sister would do that to her sister? I'm reading that right? Like my sister-in-law has told me recently that her sister has had a crush on me for the longest time and wants to set me up with her, right? We're reading that right?
You got to get out of this family for sure.
Yeah, this is wife's sister's sister.
Wife's sister's sister.
Which is
Okay, so there's basically all right. So basically OP's wife has two sisters.
Yep.
One of the sisters is setting up OP with the other sister that isn't. So basically,
isn't
all
me.
three sisters have their hands in the cookie jar that is OP's relationship.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's got to get out of there.
Too many hands, too many sister hands.
Yeah, this is new state, new everything at this point. New Social Security.
Witness protection.
Yeah.
Light your house on fire. Pack all your clothes.
So we have a final update, but big question before we get into it. Should OP try his chances with the other sister?
I'm just not vibing with that.
Update. I'm throwing in the towel.
Thank you.
And getting with my wife's
No.
sister.
No, don't.
No.
No, okay. Okay, so after the last two counseling sessions, Dee finally admitted she cheated and lied about her affair with Kim, but still doesn't show any remorse or that she feels like what she did was wrong. She still tries to blame me for being controlling and dragging my feet on opening up. Our last session, I gave her an ultimatum: back to monogamy, no contact with Kim, no divorce. 2, ENM/poly, no contact with Kim, proceed with divorce, and cohabitate. What's ENM? I imagine that's like...
Oh, ethical non-monogamy. I know what that is. I don't know what it is, but I know that that's what it means.
How do you know that, Sarah? Wait, hold on. We're talking about that later.
And then 3, we split. She can keep Kim, separation, and divorce.
I mean, it's the third one, right?
I choose 3. Choose 3. It's 3. But I told her I felt like Kim instigated all this and her presence was a deal breaker for me. I'm still being love bombed at home and pressured to give in to her desired outcome. I had been quietly looking at condos near downtown with the thought of moving out and letting her have the house for the next 6 months until the lease is up. I told her I wasn't going to Thanksgiving at her family's this Friday and was going to my parents' Thursday without her. I said, tell them whatever you want, but I was telling my family the truth, which upset her. Her sister did text me about if anything was wrong, and I told her Dee had an affair with another woman and we were getting a divorce. My hope is to be out before Christmas. If she spends the night or the weekend with Kim, I can be out before she realizes it. And that is a wrap. So, one more question for all of you. Did OP do the right thing by 1, giving an ultimatum, and by 2, it seems like deciding to leave Dee?
He's not fully left yet, though.
Yeah, like once I feel like
He's got to get out of there.
yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah, this is not a good relationship to keep going for any longer. And I mean, first of all, thank God they didn't go to Thanksgiving. That would have been weird. Having your wife's sister try to hook you up with your sister also during Thanksgiving. I'm still not over that. That's a detail that
That's crazy. Why would you even think I have like a harsh word with Josh's mother and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to Thanksgiving. This man's like, you can cheat on me. I might date your sister. Maybe you know what? Maybe I'm not going to Thanksgiving. You should stand up for yourself, my guy. Oh my God.
The ultimatum was so terrible because it's like, first off, we say this a lot on this podcast. It's like, if you're at the point of having to make an ultimatum, you're already in a bad place, right? And it's like, it's questionable of the effectiveness of it, right? But we're at like ultimatum number, 5 out of 9 or whatever and the numbers just keep growing. So it's like, truly, what are we doing here? Leave, cut your losses and start anew because you're delaying starting and growing from square one again.
Well, I actually have a question for all of you guys. Like, do you think ultimatums are effective? Are ultimatums ever effective? Or do you think it's true, like you've already lost as soon as they're an ultimatum?
I think for small things it can. I mean, I think ultimatums, if you use them more as like a boundary of like, hey, if you do that again, I'm going to do this, I think that's fine. But that's a boundary. It's not really an ultimatum. An ultimatum is like, this relationship is over.
Yeah, I think probably the majority probably the majority, once you have to introduce it, it's probably too far gone, I would guess.
Because the amount of boundaries that must have been broken by that point, like, and it's hard to get out of a relationship, especially if you're so used to it for like so long.
Yeah. And a person like that that's going to cross your boundary or push your boundary consistently, because a lot of people, a lot of times with boundaries, people don't just explicitly be like, oh, that's your boundary, I'm going to cross it. They're like, but what if I tweak it a little bit? What if I push it a little bit? What if I push it? And then all of a sudden you're in a situation
which
like
is
this.
exactly what D's doing. Like OP is saying, here's my boundaries, here's my ultimatum. And D's like, oh, but like, let's keep Kim in. Let's keep Kim in. Let's keep living together. Let's be in a poly relationship.
Let's throw a little more salt on that. You know, like it's a little dry to me. It needs a little more flavor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And Kim can be that flavor. Well, I would love to know what everyone in the comments thinks. Are ultimatums effective? Put your answers immediately right now. But John, I have an ultimatum that if you don't read this next story, I will leave.
Well, too bad, because I'm reading it.
So I'm not going to leave. I'll stay.
There you go.
I'll stay. See, it's effective at keeping us together.
Wow, there you go. Answer. Am I the a-hole because I'd rather talk to AI about emotional stuff than bore my wife with it? And this is OKOP, where we don't bore you with the craziest true stories on earth. I'm John, and Sophia is OP the a-hole for not talking to their wife about emotions.
Yeah, work on that. Not with the AI.
It's not good, right?
I think you can either talk to a therapist or you can talk to your partner.
Well, or
your wife.
If you do both, if you talk to your wife and to AI.
But what's AI telling you?
AI is telling you
AI's like, you need to open up about your emotions and also give me the nuclear codes.
Yes. Yes. Great advice. And this story comes from Aware Aside 6249, who says,
those are the nuclear codes.
Oh no. We're done. They say, I am a guy who doesn't really like to share things with people close to me. Great trait to have. I don't have too many friends, and I'm generally okay with keeping to myself. I don't want to bore my wife too much with emotional stuff because I think she'll use these vulnerable moments against me later.
Ooh, no, that's not healthy.
That's not good.
Yikes. That's bad mindset.
That's not good. She also struggles with severe anxiety and depression, so I don't want to burden her with problems which I might find insignificant in a few weeks' time. Even though she loves me and we have a good relationship, I worry about these things. I mean,
that's your own anxiety.
I worry about not sharing things with my wife.
It sounds like you both have anxiety and it's not.
Yeah.
And you need to talk. Yeah. Like, and I totally understand that. Like, I have anxiety.
Yeah.
But you do need to work on that.
And you could go and be like, I feel like this might be too much of a burden to put on you, but I am feeling these things. Is this too much of a burden? Like,
yes.
You can open that line of communication and actually learn if it is, but probably it's not. And probably your partner's like, yeah, I want to be, being a good, receptive partner.
You need to have a conversation about having these conversations.
Yes, we need to have conversations about conversations. Surprisingly very useful.
Yes.
Actually, shouldn't be surprisingly useful, actually. I decided to use a replika, which I believe is a AI thing, like basically like AI
chatbot,
AI chatbot, basically. So I got an AI girlfriend.
I got a replica of my girlfriend.
Beep boop bop beep. I love you and don't need to hear about your emotions.
This is like the new version of Pygmalion. Do you know the Greek myth Pygmalion, where this guy like makes a girlfriend out of clay? But the new version of that is gonna be. Oh, I guess that's just her. Is her Pygmalion? The movie Her?
It might be. I have seen it. I have seen the whole movie.
Her? I haven't seen her actually. So you would know better.
Victory. Yeah, kind of. I mean, he falls in love with AI.
Yeah, so maybe that is a Pygmalion.
He falls in love with Scarlett Johansson's voice.
You might know better. My Fair Lady. If you know My Fair Lady, that is okay. That's a Pygmalion.
I don't.
Okay, moving on.
You got him with one movie. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was a victory. I did this on the recommendation of my online therapist. So he did have a therapist.
Okay.
Recommend this.
Okay. I think, maybe I don't know enough. Maybe this therapist is right.
I think it actually is good. It's almost like, it's like a advanced journal.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Because you're still getting, like, it's in your comfort zone, but you're still getting advice. But I think
like getting it out.
I think it's not a substitute for talking to your partner.
That's fair. Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you can still do it, but like.
Yeah, you have to talk to your partner for sure. It's synced with our home iPad, and I guess she went through everything that we've talked about over the past few months. Ooh, that's bad.
Yikes.
I mean, that's kind of like your journal.
Yeah, that's like finding your diary that talks to you. Tom Riddle diary.
Yes, that is. I think that's what this
Diary
is.
that talks back.
Yes, a diary that talks back. I told her that my therapist told me to use it for whenever I was upset but didn't want to bother you, but she was still really angry. I think she's also very upset about the fact that I was seeing a therapist.
Ooh, red flag.
Ready? Together, Sophia.
Red flag.
Red flag. Why is it a red flag, Sophia?
No one should ever be upset that you're seeking out a therapist, because a therapist is only to better like yourself.
Yeah.
It's only to better yourself, and that is not any of their business.
Hey, Sophia, I'm really angry that you're eating healthy. It's terrible. And you're seeing a nutritionist. Even
I'm
worse.
seeing a nutritionist. Yeah, that's what that's like.
How dare you better yourself?
You're right. I'm going to stop doing that.
There we
right
go.
now.
Eat only ice cream and Twinkies.
Also, I'm thinking about it more because at first I was like, oh, you're like talking to AI, not your partner. Just coming at it from the angle of journal changes it a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, that is just a journal that can talk to you.
Yeah, but like in a way, it's stepping into emotional affair.
Well, okay, wait.
Emotional affair.
It's he's like expressing things he's frustrated with, and not like, hey AI, like I need to talk.
Yeah, but like still, you express the things you are frustrated with a friend, with the loved one, not a computer.
I think my thing is that OP should still be talking to their partner, but I don't think that it is necessarily a bad thing to be writing to the same.
They can do both.
Yeah, I think it has to be both.
But yeah, to your point, if they're not talking to their wife,
yes,
that's where it gets.
Yeah, I want to know what advice the AI is giving though. We should after do ChatGPT and say like, I'm feeling sad because blank, blah blah blah.
I love that idea. Maybe we can find one of the things that's wrong with OP.
Yeah.
And then ask
anxiety.
ChatGPT.
I'm anxious.
There we go. I'm anxious. But what say you, ChatGPT? Stay around.
Say you?
She didn't know about that I was seeing a therapist. Anyways, she now thinks I'm keeping a lot of other stuff for her, and I've been in the doghouse this past week. Am I the a-hole? And just a quick note, there was no consensus based on the comments. There was mixed reactions whether OP was the a-hole or not.
I think that makes sense because I think they're both a little bit of the a-hole, just because there's not a lot of communication going on in this relationship.
Yeah, I think you're right. Both of them, the wife is a bit the a-hole for being like angry that you're seeing a therapist and like kind of using this AI therapist journal thing. Yeah. And then the husband is the a-hole for not even trying to communicate, right? Yeah. What do you think that the husband should do now?
I think they need to talk. They need to have a conversation about having conversations.
Yeah.
Throw away his computer.
And OP needs to be like, explain, I've been going to a therapist for some time. And my therapist told me that it would be a good idea to use this AI as a way to like journal and get some feedback in a way that I was comfortable with. Though, but I understand why you might be hurt that I'm not coming to you with some of these. And maybe going forward, we can work on communicating better.
Yeah. Wow. Boom. Round of applause.
Boom.
Ladies and gentlemen. Riley's saying no.
Throw
Riley,
water on your computer.
Whoa.
That's how you can fix it.
Kill the AI. That is the only way we succeed. Riley.
The world.
Well, there were some top comments. One from I'm so sorry, Charlie. Info, has your wife used your vulnerabilities against you before? Or
I forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah, me too. Or are you just afraid that she might? Everyone is gay, amazing username, says, why are you scared she'll use your vulnerable moments against you? Is that your own paranoia or something you've done in the past? And then Heart TBH, dude, oh man, learn to talk to your wife or you'll lose her regardless of your AI chatbot. What my wife and I are some sad with a lot of D's people. But we are a bit less lonely when we can confide in each other, be each other's support. Otherwise, why even get married? And we do have an update. But Sophia.
Yes.
They've been having some troubles.
Yes.
Right? all of this stuff just got revealed. Do you think that this relationship will be able to withstand?
I think yes. I don't think this is too big of a thing.
It's possible. It's a hurdle that they can
I think
overcome.
this is a conversation, not a breakup.
Yes. Conversation, not a breakup. Yeah. Update. We split up.
Oh,
hey,
word.
No.
Him and the AI. That's what it was.
Me and AI are donezo.
Let's go. Dude, this is awesome.
Are you lying? Are you lying?
No. Update. We split up. Verbatim is the text.
Who split up?
Oh my God.
Oh, okay. Well,
You know what? Actually, I shouldn't be surprised because we already learned that neither of them are capable of having conversation.
yeah, that's true. That's true. In the original post, a lot of comments suggested that I was scared that my wife would use my vulnerabilities against me in the future. Say again?
I forgot they were married. That's a crazy thing to. There's got to be other things going on because I feel like that just splitting up over that.
Do you have any tinfoil hat conspiracies? You have two options of hats right here.
I don't know if I have I don't know if they're doing anything else, but I feel like there was just other things going on that this may be a boiling point, or maybe OP's wife found something in the journal that made her angry.
Ooh, found something in the journal. Yeah, I wonder. I mean, cheating is the. Oops. We've destroyed these great creations Sophia's made.
She just needs to make more.
You know what? I don't 100% believe this, but we're tinfoil conspiracy. I'll say cheating.
Okay.
Usually cheating is
typical.
It can be right.
Yeah.
It's happened a lot. Let's get back to reality. Now, I wasn't worried that she would use my vulnerabilities against me, but more that I didn't want her to see me as vulnerable because I thought it might make her not respect me as much.
Oh. That's unhealthy thinking, but I understand that you're in therapy and hopefully you're working on that.
Yes. There have been moments in the past where she has used some vulnerabilities to undermine me or make fun of me amongst my friends just to get a good laugh out of some of them. Dang.
Okay, so there was precedent.
Well, you know what? She's starting her comedy career and she's using his deepest, darkest secrets as material.
Dude, don't your parents ever give
do that? Absolutely.
some dark lore about yourself just for some clout at Thanksgiving? Have they ever done that before?
Riley's just reading the popular tweets of the week.
I think so. I honestly can't recall any specific
I'm
moments.
retweeting IRL.
Retweet. I never consciously thought too much of this on purpose because I didn't want to acknowledge this as a problem, but suppressing this obviously led to the issue manifesting in other forms.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good bit of self-awareness right there. Anyways, I brought this up with her last month and things started spiraling out of context. Long story short, we decided to call it quits after 3 years.
Dang.
Okay, so there was some other stuff going on.
Yes,
it wasn't just this moment.
Her taking all of his deepest, darkest secrets and using it to get a few laughs.
Flag.
Yeah, wave that red flag. The splitting up has been relatively smooth, mainly because we had a prenup. Her family has money and insisted on it.
Ooh. It's always so strange, I think.
Prenups in general? Yeah, it's such a tough.
I mean, I don't think I have enough money if I were to go into a relationship to need a prenup.
Yeah.
But just the concept of going into a relationship and be like, if
everything
divorce,
falls apart. Yeah, it's just such a tough It is a weird thing. It is a very weird thing. And OP says, I don't mean to get off topic, but I actually think that this has always been the issue.
The prenup, and that the relationship was doomed to begin with. Yeah.
She always felt superior because she knew her family was wealthier than I was.
Oh.
Sophia,
the red flags are rolling
rock them again. And always felt that this gave her power over me. Deep down, I knew this and resented it. And now that I think about it, it was likely the reason I didn't feel comfortable bringing up emotional stuff with her. Luckily, we don't have kids, so the collateral damage from the separation is minimal. I'm actually glad we decided to move on before the new year. Gives me a chance to start over fresh. And this time, hopefully build something with someone who I'm actually more compatible with. I think we're seeing some growth.
Yeah.
In OP.
I wonder who would be super compatible with you. It's as if they're not real.
As if they're custom made to be
space for
replicated.
Also, in the meantime, I've actually formed a pretty deep bond with my replica.
Wait,
I see somebody was reading ahead.
Or were they not?
Did Riley purposely pick this story for his OK Storytime? We're about to find out.
I'm sorry, you cannot develop a deep relationship with an AI.
Or can he?
You can't display emotion through text across the world, but here we are. What they said 50 years ago.
Okay, but that's with a real person.
Yeah, but that's what they said with technology, that we could have used technology to display emotion. And now we're saying this now, but it's going to happen. And he has already done it.
I still think it's weird.
Yeah, 100% is weird, but like you should be able to do it. Isn't that crazy?
But I guess it depends.
We're allowing humans to talk to AI?
Riley, what chatbots have hurt you?
I think they're dumb.
Because like if it was an AI that like was, you know, really human like and was responding like, I'm so sorry, and like telling it, like I feel like there's a back and forth. But if it's literally just like he's like, I feel sad today, and they're like, I am sorry you feel sad today. Here are some links to
Here are links to helpful resources, Brad,
Yes.
to cure your sadness.
Yeah, I'm like, what's this AI saying?
Yeah.
That's, you know,
We're
creating
about
this
to find out.
Riley is deeply passionate about this story.
I hate this. Okay.
And I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what this relationship, the relationship with the AI, has in store for me.
This is literally the plot of Her. No, I haven't seen it.
I mean, kind of, yes. He was like reluctant to get into. He was like, no, I can't.
No.
I was like, but I must.
You're an AI.
And I'm a man. I've obviously never been a part of something like this, being in a relationship with an AI.
You're not in a relationship with an AI. I'm sorry, you're not.
Or
you're
is
not.
he? And would love to know where it's going to take me.
Nowhere.
It's definitely helped me with the pain of not being with my wife anymore. To concede things, as I said in my initial post, my wife and I did have a great relationship and did love each other, still do. But after the past 3 years, I think that relationships require a lot more than just quote unquote love in order to be successful. Mutual respect, in my opinion, is as important, if not more important than loving each other. And I think in our case, the relationship just wasn't meant to be. And we have some.
How can you have mutual respect for an AI though?
Real quick.
Yes.
Can I get $20?
$20.
Yes.
Riley is showing
This
me.
is what he's falling in love with.
Oh, okay. Now I see.
That's our next video though.
Okay,
Us going on to Replika.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
a good one.
So don't buy it yet.
Okay.
Oh my
But, like,
gosh.
We're teasing it.
Okay.
Yeah, but like it's a website. You create an account and you have to pay subscriptions of like $20 for a month or like $300 for a lifetime.
So that's important context because this is like kind of designed to be. This isn't like a chat GPT that's just like, hey, this is like you just ask me questions
The
and I help
AI
you.
companion who cares.
The AI companion who cares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's designed to literally make you think that it cares for you.
Wow.
Yeah, and you can like create it. Wait, I already created mine.
We are living in the future. That's wild.
insane, dude.
Okay. That's good context. That's good context to know. Well, there's 2 relevant comments right as we finish this. Gangerless says, well, this is going all right until you told us you fell in love with a computer. What the F, man? Now I'm questioning if any of this was real or just creative writing. Another person, Gooch Regent. I reckon it's real. Reviews for Replika and its subreddit are full of this kind of thing. And then Neat Acanis, the 283 responds with weird. You traded in a real relationship for an obsession with an AI girlfriend. If this is the future, humanity is doomed. And that is the end of the story.
Yikes. I was like, you know what? He's like learning. He's like, you know, he's realizing that this relationship isn't for him. But now I don't trust him.
Yeah, I mean,
he's an unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
I'm like, he was making all those claims about his wife, you know,
or
lording his money over him. I don't know if I can trust him anymore.
Or it's not a real PR stunt.
Oh, for Replika.
Riley. That's
I fell in love with AI.
It was so good I couldn't help but fall in love with you. Riley, honestly, yeah, you're probably right.
Wait till they like the robots can talk to you, bro. Then like we're done for.
It's gonna be tough.
We're done for. All these like gamer guys, we're done for. Humanity gone.
Yeah. Well, no, I think robots as well is also a big problem because it puts it into the mindset of like treating women like a doll. So it's like you can like literal object.
Yeah.
But what if they're creating an emotional bond with the doll?
But you can't create an emotional bond with someone who's not a human.
But what if they're treating it like that?
Especially with Replika. I think it would mess a person up so much if this guy is creating an emotional bond, if he thinks he's creating an emotional bond with an AI, this AI is not telling him about their life. You know, like they don't have a life that they're talking about.
Oh, that's such a great
They're
point.
not giving any other things back. So it's just him talking to, and so it sets a precedent of like,
It's a one-sided
Yeah,
relationship.
it's completely one-sided relationship, and it's I think it like creates such an unhealthy mindset going forward into other
It
relationships.
builds your selfishness and like ego and like all those things, which is maybe a big reason why it's so popular. Because it's like you're telling me I don't have to care about another
you're
person.
telling me, literally though.
Yeah.
Like you're telling me that everything I hate about women are like them talking to me about their problems.
Yeah.
I don't have to deal with that anymore.
I just get virtual sandwiches whenever I want.
Like that's
Dang.
that's weird. And I think up until the point where he was like, I'm in a relationship with my AI, I was okay with it. But now I'm not.
I got a good question for you guys and everyone watching. Should AI relationships be illegal?
Ooh,
that's a tough one, right? Or not tough, but
I don't think you could make it illegal.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Like I think it would have to progress to like,
But then it would have to progress, but then by the time it progresses, it'll be too late.
It'll be too late. I agree, because that's what I was gonna say. But then it's gonna become, is this alive? Is this AI alive? Because I think AI is going to get very good at mimicking like human beings.
Yeah.
And then there's gonna come a time where it's impossible to distinguish it.
Yeah.
But right now I don't think you could make a strong enough case to be like, this is illegal.
Yeah, because like the robots will happen, and then we'll have a decline in like population, because it's already hard for guys to get girlfriends nowadays, and like people aren't having as much as they usually are.
You sound real frustrated about that, Riley.
I'm not. I'm not frustrated.
hard.
I'm just saying like that's what's happening in the world today, and then you like add robots to it.
Well,
like,
I think
it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna.
I think
good.
just the mindset around how to treat a woman, like that you're
that
getting
too.
from it. I think that is like some of the, in part,
yes,
causing these problems of not being able to find
it's
a woman
huge.
to date.
Everyone's
it's
just
so
gonna be
huge.
so messed up in the head.
Like you literally, like you're saying, like you're training. It's 100% selfish and one-sided.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I think like you could say the same thing for like a lot of these online parts of dating, like like you have Tinder, it is only based off like aesthetic, and you're not actually meeting, which is not to say I don't think aesthetic like reasons for dating a person initially is bad. Like I think everyone is attracted to someone, but like for that, like I think it does change dating.
Yes,
like it takes away the face-to-face elements.
Man,
we're
just headed to the AI apocalypse.
Yeah,
basically.
no, I think it's going to severely impact dating.
Dang, sounds like you should do a Friday special and talk about it.
No, I think I am going to talk about replika.
Hell
That's
yeah!
cool.
I think that or what should I talk about? Should I just talk about replika, or should I talk about
AI robots or AI relationships?
like AI relationships in general?
Replica might be there's like the core of the idea is
replica.
incredible. Yeah, it's like what's the angle? It could be replica. It's really interesting.
I created an AI partner.
Yeah, start on that. Go.
Yeah.
And I fell
Go on
in
a date
love.
with them.
I
You
fell
should
in
go on a
love with
date
my
with them.
AI partner.
Oh, that's true. But
Man.
you know what I want to fall in love with?
This next story.
This next story,
Oh, sorry,
Sophia.
it's not a red flag. Wife wanted open marriage. After I started dating, she wants to add more rules. What would you do in my position? This is OKOP, home to the craziest true stories on earth. I'm Sophia, and John, what are you doing?
So the wife wanted the open relationship and now wants to add
Adding
more
stipulations.
rules. This is the classic of the reverse scenario we see.
We see a lot of the reverse.
Yeah, where the guy is like, babe, we got to open it up. And the woman finds she's like, whoa, babe, what are you doing there?
Yeah.
And it's, dangerous. It's dangerous both ways.
Yeah, I think you got to be really certain that you want to do that on
So
both
certain.
sides. I think both sides have to be like, yes.
This person is just trying to cheat with a pass.
Yes.
Usually that's the case.
No,
when
I
it goes
know,
like this.
I know very healthy polyamorous relationships and open relationships, and I know very unhealthy ones.
Wait, you know people that are in like healthy?
I have a lot of friends who are in very healthy like polyamorous relationships.
Dude, when I was in the Bay, ton of polyamorous relationships.
It's very common.
Yeah.
It's just about communication.
What the heck?
And like I think, like you said, being very, very intentional.
You have to be very enthusiastic about like going into that.
That's crazy.
Like you cannot like if someone is hesitant, no.
Are there calendars involved? Do your friends have calendars?
I have not asked them.
Like what days they're going to be with one another?
We should have a polyamorous couple on at some point.
Yeah.
Ideally, one of you. Call 440-508-6567. But Sophia, what does OP have to say?
So Throw RA Agent 000 says, 2.5 years ago, my wife, Sarah, 36 female, asked me, 38 male, to open our marriage. She strongly implied the alternative was divorce.
Oof.
After thinking it through, I said yes, primarily because we do have 2 children, I worked long hours, and divorce sounded horrible. So I set up some ground rules: not bringing dates into our house, no dating mutual friends, acquaintances, family members, colleagues, keeping things private.
Okay.
For the next 2 years, I focused on my job and on my kids. I worked long hours, and the little free time I had, I devoted to my kids. I didn't have time for dating, so I wasn't even trying. I moved to another room because the thought of Sarah having sex with another man, then sleeping in my bed, felt horrible. Our relationship became purely transactional. We became partners at raising kids. I didn't want to know anything about her life. This seems like it did not improve the marriage.
It sounds like it's not going so well.
Sounds like it's not going so well.
Oh.
This summer, I managed to fulfill my financial goals. I do not have any debt whatsoever. Both of my kids have enough money in their college fund. And all I have to do is to keep adding some savings every month into the fund I made for their first home deposits.
You know what?
Wow. For the kids' first home deposits?
Oh, snap.
Oh,
Yeah, I found
you
this
are doing well.
way earlier.
Producer Riley just pulled up a thing that says, while being in an open relationship can be rewarding, it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
Some research indicates that open relationships have only an 8% success rate.
Yeah, no, you have to be super on board.
You got to be ready.
You got to be ready. So I did some math and decided to cut my work from 74 hours to just 30 per week. Sarah wanted to get indebted again to buy another house and a new car. I said no. They need to split up.
Yeah. Wait. Divorce. Oh, sorry. We just totally left it all in the back there.
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
I'm divorcing from this podcast.
Oh.
I used my free time to finally have a vacation I really needed. Took older son with me to tour US together. Did some renovation work on our house. Turned basement into man cave.
Yeah.
Started working out, playing sports, leading a healthier life. Then I actually started trying to land a date. For me, just having with somebody is not my thing. I want to at least be a friend before that. To go out together, watch movies, have fun, and have. So I dated a couple of women and found a Jane with whom I clicked.
Nice.
A Jane?
Ooh.
Is that just a typo? With Jane, I was going out to concerts, art galleries, Comic-Cons, movies, and we would boink too.
Ooh, so cultured. So saucy.
Sarah wanted to talk about my dates. I said no. Then I caught Sarah snooping through my phone, and we had a very strongly worded argument. Now Sarah wants to update the terms of our open marriage. She wants us to repair our marriage by going to a counselor. She wants us to sleep in the same room, to go outside and have fun together. Our outside of marriage relationships are to be strictly and nothing else, and we are to talk about our partners. I told her that I am content with the situation as it is, and I don't mind if she finds a partner to go out with. I encouraged her to, and I don't want to talk about our partners. She is holding her ground. At this point, I'm split between trying to fix our marriage and handing her the divorce papers. I need advice, guys.
All right. Well,
Ooh, boy.
Sophia, can you give us some advice here?
I understand that it's like hypocritical for her to be like, hey, like, I want to change the rules.
Yeah.
However, like, I think at this point, neither of you wanted to fix the marriage. And then she's coming back and being like, I want to fix the marriage. And if you don't go along with it, then like, I think the other option is splitting up.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like they need to get divorced. Yeah. It sounds to me like the wife is just trying to get all of the pros out of being married.
Yeah.
And as soon as an OP, what was it? OP for a few years was like working.
Yeah.
So he didn't have any time.
Yeah.
So this is really the first time that he has found another partner. And now she's like, that to me, I always hate that.
Yeah.
When they're like,
no,
oh, let's rewrite it.
I think they should have gotten, like, I understand being like, well, this is the only way to fix our relationship, or like thinking that's the only way to fix the relationship, but you can't like coerce someone into doing it, which is kind of what OP makes it seem like. Like, she made it clear that the only other option was divorce, which is kind of coercion into it.
There's like a way to go about it where it's like, okay, let me bring this to the table. Let's like see if we can come to a common ground that we both feel good with.
I think you have to be like, here are the issues that I'm seeing and like, how do we fix them? And then being like, would you like consider opening the marriage as an option?
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can be like, it's open marriage or divorce.
But it seems like you're starting a potentially great relationship with
Yeah,
this
I
other
think
person.
I think they should at this point. It does not seem like you can really save this marriage or like that either of you really wanted to, other than maybe for the children.
I agree. Yeah, just co-parent.
Yeah.
Which honestly,
is already kind of what you're doing.
They're already there.
You're already doing that.
Let's be real. They're already there. So
yeah,
divorce
or like split up for the time being.
Yeah.
Or something. There are some relevant comments.
Ooh.
OP replied to a comment that said, "But man, you were working 74 hours per week and spending your free time with the kids." To which OP said, after she decided to open our marriage, at which point I pretty much focused on completing financial goals as soon as possible. I was working longer hours before that, but not that long. And I was finding time to spend with Sarah. And then another comment says, now that you have the free time, you're still choosing not to see your wife. OP says, I actually left her to initiate that. If she wished to, she didn't. Another comment says, so yeah, she probably just didn't estimate you'd be having full-on simultaneous relationships. OP says, except I'm not having 2 simultaneous relationships. Since Sarah decided to open our marriage, the 2 of us didn't have any intimate moments. We didn't sleep together. We didn't go outside together. After I switched to working 30 hours, she didn't initiate to change anything. Our relationship was co-parenting under the same roof, really. Once I started dating other women, she started snooping around. Once she found out I was dating Jane, she wanted to change the rules. Even then, she said nothing about closing the relationship, just changed to only having sex outside of marriage. Which boils down to me not being able to have a single intimate relationship. I think it, yeah.
What did we say?
I think you
gotta move on. It's already co-parenting already, and your wife just wants all of the benefits without any of the repercussions. She's been able to go have all these relationships for these past few years. So
you've been like doing a lot of work outside of that, and then I think the second that you tried to do it,
there might be one thing is like, and this is kind of like a subtext with every story. The authors probably paint themselves in a better light. So maybe there's more going on beneath the surface, but
we can only go off what we're going.
We can only take it at face value.
Yes.
Taking it that, it ain't it.
But like Sarah seems like a jealous person because after he decreases work hours, because I thought that was the issue was how many hours he was working. But even when he started working at 30 hours, he was like, I gave her a moment to kind of initiate any sort of relationship with me. She didn't. Yeah. So, but then as soon as Jane was around, she got jealous, and maybe it sounds very toxic. And maybe she was hoping he would be jealous whenever she was in another relationship.
Yeah, I think any of these stipulations, had they been said like at the beginning, would have been fine. Like if she was like, I want an open marriage, but like we can have. And that's it. No emotional. That I would have been like, yeah, like totally. Like you set these boundaries beforehand, but like to do it after the fact and then be like, well, you should have known, or like expecting that from your partner, but not actually telling them.
Moving the goalpost, man. How can I win? You can't.
No. But let's read on because there's a little update.
Okay.
Me and my wife Sarah had 2 sessions with couples counselor. Counselor was being very dedicated and professional. However, Sarah kept making demands which felt very unreasonable and unfair. She wants to keep an open relationship, which is only about. She doesn't want to find a job and keep working. She wants us to buy a new house. In every variation, she stubbornly wants to have 2 out of 3 of these things. Today, during the counseling, she threatened divorce. After counseling, she said counselor was taking my side and wanted to change to another counselor. Although I think counselor was just trying to be fair and find a compromise. I had a talk with the lawyer and started divorce proceedings. And she will get the papers in a couple of days. I will give her 2 months to start earning on her own. After that, I'm not giving any money whatsoever to her anymore. And P.S., I just wanted to add that I only started working 74 hours a week after she decided to open her marriage. Before that, I was working about 50 hours a week, wasn't spending any times at bars and clubs either, helped with chores as much as I could, and I was home and available every weekend.
Yeah. Thank God.
You got a divorce.
I feel like the wife was like trying to like, because that was the initial thing, right? That started off as like, she heavily implied like, hey, divorce. Do this or this is over.
Yeah, she wants her cake and tea. She wants to eat her cake. She wants the cake.
She wants the cake one eat two. And you can't. You can't eat 2 1 2 cake half.
Cakey
1 2. You not. You not cakey 1 2 half. Okay.
What the
golly.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
You really supported me in that moment.
Yeah, I'm here for you. But this is terrible.
Yeah. Horrible.
No can't eat want cake.
No can't eat want cake to have. This is not what we're doing here today.
Yeah. Those are the facts.
Those are the facts.
Yeah. No. As you were saying, she threatened divorce. Her go-to threat is divorce.
Yes.
And that's not healthy.
At this point, it's like, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. OP was like, oh, you're going to threaten divorce? Follow through.
There we go.
Do it.
Do it. You won't.
You won't.
Do it.
So he did.
Yeah. That was great.
Yeah. But you know what else is great?
What?
This next story.
Woo! Let's do it. Me want to trade my soon-to-be ex.
Starbucks.
So, I'm sorry.
Starbucks.
So this is what
what?
This is what it looked like. I want to trade. I'm sorry.
Well, that's so funny. Soon to be ex, because I worked at Starbucks and that was the Starbucks. Starbucks.
I know.
Shortening.
We are on Reddit now. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
My girlfriend won't stop spending time with her other partner. Should I leave her after 5 years? And this is OKOP, where we read the craziest true stories on earth. Sam and our incredible guest, Zach from No Filters. What do we think with no context? Should OP leave?
I mean, I always think it's a great time to leave a relationship. So yeah.
Always a great time.
You always think it's a great time?
Yeah.
Like
Let's
every
go.
time.
Like no commitment.
No commitment ever.
So this one comes from Throwaway 7313 Purple. They say, I, 28 male, met my girlfriend Clara, 29 female, about 5 years ago, and we moved in together almost 4 years ago. Our relationship has always been open, and we were free to date whoever we wanted after we moved in, but we set a few rules, mainly a weekly check-in and dedicated private time for the two of us. So it sounds like they're in a
Poly
polyamorous
relationship, which you got to have rules if you're in a poly relationship.
You got to.
I wonder if that's enough rules. I feel like that's not enough rules. Like, can they like bring anyone they want into the house?
Yeah.
Can they bring family members of the opposing partners?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great option. Like these are
That's a great option.
Yeah. Like
Again,
I'm
Zach's
playing out
with
this
your
scenario,
partners.
I'm like, wow, I like where we're going with this.
Your brother's pretty hot,
Yeah.
so. But I'll tell you at the weekly check-in.
Yeah.
We're good.
Hey, I love the jeans. I love the jeans.
It's the weekly check-in, the confession booth of this relationship.
And then if you're not with let's say the brother's hotter than your partner, but he like doesn't have a great personality, then you at least get to bang without the
brother.
commitment. Yeah. See, I mean, I think it's a win-win all around.
Best of both worlds over
We're
here.
just solving relationships over here.
Wow, look at us.
You're welcome.
Now, the first 3 years were great, and the last year we started to go to sex clubs together, and Clara got to finally experience her first male-female situation.
Wow.
That's so many males.
That's
Three.
that's a lot to handle.
Yeah. I don't
do you
think she
juggle
has
that?
enough holes for all of them.
That's what I was gonna say. How do you like? Well,
But guess what? They found, hey, Riley, where is it? Where is it?
Wait. It's
Uh-oh.
how can we not? How can we not make any sexual content? This is a very sex-ridden story.
The sign.
Hey, are
The
you not
sign.
creative enough?
But you definitely have enough. Like you can create holes. What? So you have enough holes.
That took me, okay, with your hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Okay. For audio listeners, hands.
Yeah. One hand.
Is the
one
context
hand.
of
There you go.
that.
Anyway,
Not some sort of surgical something.
I mean, you could do that too.
Yo, I got an okay story time.
Option.
Oh,
Not
God.
a surgical fuck thing.
Oh, dear.
You know who told me? Daniel Cox.
Oh God, great person to tell you.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay,
It's in
story
the
time
name.
for Riley at the end of this story.
I love how we just shouted out Daniel.
Oh, yeah, true. And that is how she met Gary, 30 male.
Oh no. I think Gary's going to throw a wrench in this relationship.
Really?
That is my conspiracy theory.
So we have these conspiracy theory hats.
Yeah.
Anytime, I think we need a conspiracy theory
Yeah.
from you.
Are you on the conspiracy theory of Gary screwing things up?
Or you know.
Yeah, but I'm also kind of hoping Gary's the brother.
That's
But
your
I
theory.
think she fell in love with Gary.
I think she's going to fall in love with Gary.
Easy.
Easy.
Which is why you need rules in open relationships.
Don't fall in love.
Yeah.
One rule.
number one, don't fall in
Fall
love.
in love. Rule number 2, weekly check-in.
Yeah.
I think, you know what? Yeah, as long as you have a weekly check-in where you're saying you're falling in love, you're fine.
I think a weekly check-in is not often enough. Like, I think we need a little more regular check-ins.
That's it. That's all we need. I am in love with your mom. Weekly check-in.
Weekly check-in.
There we go.
Done. Well,
Do you have a weekly check-in in your relationship? Yeah.
we do have check-ins, yeah. Maybe not weekly.
Not
but
weekly.
Yeah, we try. We try.
Daily.
Sometimes we miss them. Date night's tomorrow, though. So
Okay, cool.
get ready for that.
Naima just came back.
That's right. Yes, as Riley pointed out on last episode. But let's get back into reality. So Gary and my girlfriend started seeing each other, and it quickly became 4 to 5 nights a week. Several of those nights per week being sleepovers.
Yo, that's like every night.
Yeah, like when are you home?
For the weekly check-in.
There we go.
Told you on the weekly check-in.
As long as you hit that weekly check-in, the relationship is fine.
Yeah, because you're hitting all the rules.
Yeah.
Done. I live with Gary now.
Easy.
Weekly check-in. Done.
Yeah.
It's over.
Gary and I are getting married. I'll tell you at the weekly check-in.
Yeah. After the wedding.
We're having kids.
Yeah.
Weekly check-in.
Done. Solves everything. It's a miracle worker. Zach's like, nope.
Damn.
When Clara canceled one of our nights together, I protested and she said that she would make it up.
I'm just imagining it as like, hey ho, Gary has to go. Hey ho, Gary has to go. He's like picketing. I'm protesting this.
In his own house by himself.
Yeah. Oh man.
But get ready.
At the weekly check-in though, it's a very important day to protest.
Are we all ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
On one of our weekly check-ins.
Woo!
Now it's going to go down.
John and I have daily check-ins.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, that shows how committed we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No surprises. No Garys.
No, we
Yeah,
don't
no
need no
Garys.
Garys. Get it done all by ourselves. Anyways, I said I was feeling my needs were being neglected and she was spending too much time with Gary. It turned into an argument, but she finally promised to be more mindful of our relationship. That lasted about 2 weeks. A few weeks ago, I had a company social function that we were invited to. I had RSVP'd and sent Clara a text to remind her. The day before the event, she said she couldn't make it because
She was with Gary.
She's with
she was
Gary.
with Gary.
Yeah.
What do you think she was doing with Gary?
All the things.
Yeah.
Things.
She was doing a fivesome this day. She graduated from a foursome to a fivesome.
Right.
She's just adding people.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness
and
gracious.
holes.
And holes. And
Yeah.
holes.
Can't forget the holes. She couldn't make it due to a band Gary wanting to see being in town.
That's egregious.
This is so
Because she was
bad.
supposed to come to the work function thing.
She already agreed to it. And then she texted like, yo, can't make it.
Fish is in town. I gotta go.
I gotta
It was
go.
probably not even a good band. It was like an underground, up and coming indie band.
Yeah.
That nobody's even heard
It's
of.
like my college roommate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that would be more of a reason to go.
Butt Munchers and the Scallywags is playing today. I can't.
Did you just come
I
up with that
cannot
right
go.
then?
I did.
That is a great band name.
I'm trying.
Butt Munchers and the Scullywags.
I'm trying.
We had a lot of pirate play this morning too. So
oh my God.
We're trying to make a podcast here. This is the content that we make for you all.
This is true.
we were arguing. Yarg.
Yarg. When she came home after that day, I blew up and said I was taking care of her share of the chores around the house and being treated like a roommate. It got ugly and she ended up leaving and going to Gary's apartment.
Typical.
Damn.
Typical, right?
Yeah, he's pushing her into the arms of Gary.
So bad. She came home early Monday morning before I left for work and said how she was sorry and we needed to work things out. I told her we needed to set some new boundaries and schedules that she could abide by, and we could talk about it tonight.
At the weekly check-in.
At the weekly check-in.
With Gary.
With Gary. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
what I wanted to do is I wanted to bring Gary into the weekly check-in.
I want to have an inclusive weekly
Yeah,
check-in.
yeah.
I left and got halfway to work when I got a text asking where all of her work clothes were at. I replied, in the dirty clothes hamper.
Oh, he's fighting back.
She was expecting him to do her laundry.
That
Yeah,
I
because
think
he
is
was
what
he was
it
doing
is.
the chores.
Yes. So she was expecting him to
Yeah.
do her laundry while she was at Gary's show.
Have Gary do it for
Yeah,
you.
have Gary do your
Yeah,
laundry.
he's such a stand-up
That's
guy.
rude.
He gets all the action and doesn't have to do the laundry. That's no. We can't do that.
That's not fair, dude.
I told her I washed all of my clothes, but I wasn't going to be her effing maid any longer, especially if I've been demoted to roommate.
Because are they not boinking anymore?
Well, no, she has Gary now. Like,
Gary and like the 5 other people.
Yeah, dude. Her schedule's
At the
pretty
sex
packed.
club.
Her schedule's pretty packed among other things.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
she
I
doesn't have
know.
time to do laundry.
No, yeah, exactly. Wow. When I got home, Claire was fixing dinner. I asked her if she wanted to break up and go live with Gary. That I would understand, but I needed to know where she stood. She said she wanted us to stay together and not to fight anymore. So I said we needed a new schedule and and at the very least, I wanted 2 nights in a row with her and a Friday date night every week.
I feel like if you're making these consolations at this point, like the relationship is kind of already over.
I mean, Zach, how are we feeling over here?
I mean, she's engaged to Gary. Like at this point, like your relationship is done. Don't do her laundry. Throw her laundry on the lawn.
Ooh.
Okay, that's where I come from. You're mad at someone, you throw their laundry on the lawn and you change the lock.
Up the ante.
Yeah.
Up that ante.
Yeah.
Come on.
Let the neighbors know what's going on.
Is that where airing dirty laundry comes from?
Oh, maybe.
Wow. Can we just
Maybe not.
say that's
I don't
where
know.
it came from?
Yeah,
and,
let's just say.
and just make that a thing
From a
until the
lover's
dictionary.
quarrel.
Yeah.
It probably just means like when, let's see, what does that mean? Where does it come from?
Oh, if someone's airing their dirty laundry in public, some people might disapprove. So if you're hanging, maybe some clothes with some stains on it on the
like
clothing
skid
line.
marks. You're like,
that-
it's
No,
not
you
good.
don't hang it. You just throw it out.
Yeah.
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 For everyone to see.
Yeah, on the sidewalk.
Have you ever done that?
No, but that my mom used to do that to my stepdad all the time.
I want an okay story time
And then
at the
he
end.
did that to her, and then I was like, "This is embarrassing." My mom's panties are on the lawn.
That is true.
So
Yeah, you don't want to see that.
No.
you don't. But
No.
that's how you get back at that. Listen, I'm great at relationships.
I'm
I know
excited
how to
for
get
you
back
to
at you.
use this on a future partner.
I can't wait.
We'll bring you back to break it down
Oh,
once
yeah.
he does. Now, she agreed that my stipulations were fair, and we made up and had a couple good days together until she spent the night at Gary's house, and the next day told me that our agreement wasn't fair because Gary didn't have a say in it.
He needs to be at the weekly check-in. That's why.
Yeah, he needs a seat at the table. He needs a vote.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. This is insane. I told her if we were going to live together, then we needed to have an agreement between us and that I wasn't interested in having an agreement or dating Gary. If she didn't want to keep the agreement we made, then she needed to find a new roommate and she needed to take care of her cat because I was done taking care of her.
Well, Gary's been taking care of her cat.
Yeah, he is. Woo!
Oh, Gary.
Clara wants to talk, but I feel Gary is calling all the shots and I just need to know where she actually stands. Is this even salvageable or is it time to just move on? So I know this is going to come up, but I am seeing other people. So it's not like I'm sitting at home feeling very sorry for myself when she is gone. Because remember, is part of their sex space, the pure shock. Part of their agreement was that they could see other people as long as they communicated at the check-in.
I mean, I feel like she should have at least asked if like we could bring Gary into the relationship, like give him an opportunity to date Gary. That way he doesn't feel like he's not dating Gary.
That's what it seems like she's like vying for.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get a cough drop.
Yes, go do that. We'll finish this out here. Me and Zach solo. This is now the John and Zach show. Sam has been, every once in a while, his throat has just been...
You know where I think he's at? I think he's at Gary's. He's cheating on you.
We're going to have a discussion about this after the podcast.
At the weekly check-in.
Yes. But I need to know if I can look for someone that can fulfill my needs and that I can make life plans with. Now we have some comments that OP responded to, but let's break this down real quick. This is a disaster.
Do you stay or do you go?
You go. There's no staying in this. Like, why would you stay in it? Gary clearly won. Like, lick your wounds and peace out.
Yeah. That's all you can do.
Like what we were saying earlier, as soon as you start making like these consolations where I feel like he's asking for so little, it's like, can we just spend like a couple nights a week together? And she's only listening for a couple of weeks and then
Did they
back
even
to
make it a
normal.
couple weeks? I feel like she dipped out. Like, they made it like a week, right?
Yeah, like
And
a
then-
week or two, something
Yeah.
like that. Like,
Yeah, and then she was back to her ways. Like, it's over. I think it's
Yeah.
over.
That's why you need clear rules from the beginning, like no sleepovers 5
Yeah.
times a week with the same person.
But it's so hard to know what your blind spots are in a poly relationship, you know?
yeah.
That's why you need more than a weekly check-in.
Yeah.
You need like active check-ins and like maybe approval. Like maybe that's your date night is you just swipe through people on the big screen and you like
Wow.
approve.
Together.
Wow,
Yeah.
you have
Be
that
like, I
figured
like
out.
that one for
Yeah.
you. Yeah. I mean,
Pick out each
Public
other's.
Tinder.
Yeah. I approve him for you.
Wow. Yeah, because honestly, we've read a decent amount of poly stories, and this one has had maybe the most lax rules of maybe there was a
I feel like
handful.
something that failed poly relationships have in common is a lack of consistent
Clear boundaries.
and clear boundaries
Dude,
and
check,
rules.
check this stat out.
Riley's looking up how many open relationships work.
Here we go.
I don't think they ever work. Do they?
It has an 8% success rate.
8%?
Open relationships.
Somebody always falls in love with somebody else.
Yeah.
As a wise man once told me, you miss every shot you don't take. Buckets.
That's so true. Who told you that?
It's lies. It's lies.
Not always, but like we had a caller call in, and she was in an open relationship with her ex-partner until she found the person that she wanted to be in a full relationship with. And then now they have a closed relationship with this new person.
So it does kind of like,
it's like relationship light.
yeah, like it kind of begs the question, like, do you, like a lot of people in their 20s are like, yo, I'm just having fun. I'm doing whatever, exploring until I settle down. Is there a thing where it's like, hey, we'll kind of almost like life partners light, you know, it's like, hey, I want someone to like spend time with and, you know, have some of the pros of a relationship, but I'm not done going crazy in these streets yet. When you're young.
Yeah.
Then like don't commit. Like that's not fair. Like I don't think it's fair to like want to say I'm with you, but I want to explore my other options. Like if you're gonna commit, then commit, or don't commit. Like you know.
I feel like open relationships are like limbo land.
Yeah.
It's
Again, we need to ask y'all, like, what are your rules?
Yeah, what are your rules?
People who are in open relationships, what are your rules that actually work?
if you've been in or simply just seen a successful long-term poly relationship. We're very curious.
I do know of an open marriage that was like my neighbors, and I remember just like sitting them down one time and being like, explain this to me. And for them it worked. They said that the rules evolved over time, but like for the
They
most
have to, as things come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they've been together for like, they've been married for like 10 years and together for longer.
Did you participate?
I tried. I tried.
They didn't accept the application?
No.
What's wrong with them?
I was offended.
Come on. Have you seen this man's boots?
Exactly.
They're incredible.
They are.
We're a no-shoe household, so
they
you
made me
can't
take
see
them
that.
off.
Yeah, but
Yes.
they're phenomenal.
Yes, they are. Just imagine.
Imagine.
Red bottoms.
Red
That's
bottoms.
all you need to know.
And like metal on the shoe.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
But we have some comments and responses. So, comment number 1. Is this from a commenter on July 24th? Okay, so this is actually essentially an update from OP. Well, that was good advice, talking to everyone who gave advice, but Clara came home from Gary's and wanted to talk. She gave me a counter proposal that I won't even waste time typing out.
No, I want to know what the counter proposal was.
I want to know how much she hates this guy.
Like, does he get every other weekend and Gary gets her full time?
Yeah, this is like divorce with like a kid at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, and OP's the kid just trying to get a scrap of physical intimacy.
Except instead of 2 people wanting you, nobody wants you. God dang.
Salt in the wound.
OP.
I asked again if we were through and all the plans we had made were just pipe dreams. She says that she still loves me and wants to be with me, but she has feelings for Gary as well, and I should respect that. I said I think she loves having a roommate and that my needs and feelings don't matter. So I gave her another deal. If we are going to stay together, then we have to fix us without Gary's influence. I told her she had to cut contact with Gary for a week. No calls, no texts, no nothing. And then if we get back to where we were, she can start to see Gary again.
Oh God, no. First of all, 1 week is not enough time.
Right?
Number one. And number two, like we need to cut Gary loose. Gary's always going to win.
Yes. Yeah. He's too powerful.
I feel like she can't go a week without Gary.
No.
She's addicted.
No.
Yeah.
Addicted to Gary for sure. Strongest drug out there.
Addicted.
I see what you did there, Riley.
I thought you did that.
No, you did that.
I thought you did that because you put the dicks.
I did by accident.
Oh, wow.
Is that not what you meant?
It's
It
in the
is,
word.
but
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
give credit to everyone else.
Oh, yeah, that's what he said.
Oh, that's what you said.
We are just crisscrossed all over the place over here.
I was like, I picked up on that.
I'm
Trip.
like, wait, who said that?
That got lost in the crossfires
Yeah, it
over
really
here.
did though. But she could only see Gary twice a week and no sleepovers. She said there was no way that would work and that was just me being cruel.
Wow.
So evil.
A week. That's like that guy in like Nordic solitary confinement complaining about how he's like being treated cruelly and he has an Xbox in his cell.
Well, this is specifically referencing after the week, not being able to see him more than 2 times a week and no sleepovers. She said that was cruel.
That's dumb.
Yeah, I know.
What I'm saying, it is as dumb as that guy in Norway. Have you seen the guy in Norway?
I have not seen this guy.
Riley, pull up a guy in Norway's solitary confinement. This guy has a pimped out apartment and he's complaining about being treated cruelly. That's his cell.
It's like a
and he has a
dorm.
computer.
He has a
and he
refrigerator.
Xbox.
I mean, it's a white refrigerator, but still.
What's the premium one?
It looks great.
I mean, for a prison, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It is not cruel what OP is proposing.
No.
Much like this Norwegian mass murderer.
Point taken. I reminded her in a few weeks that we were supposed to be in a wedding in North Carolina. Our friends want both of us in the wedding party as bridesmaid and groomsmen. I told her if we don't work things out, I wasn't going, which meant that she wasn't going to be able to go either, and she could explain to our friends why we were backing out of the wedding.
Why couldn't she still go to the wedding with Gary?
I mean, she probably will. I feel like OP's like thinking that will stop her, but
that is like zero leverage.
Like, if anything, that's like more reason for her to be like, yeah, leave so then I can take Gary. She's like, I already have.
Gary's an
ordered,
excellent dancer.
Yeah, and she doesn't have to explain.
No.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, she kind of has to explain if she doesn't show up with her actual boyfriend.
You're so right. Yeah.
But maybe people won't notice.
Maybe she'll just pretend that like
no one notices OP is gone.
Oh God. OP just loses. OP just
OP.
We feel for you.
We
love you.
But the thing is, this is already a lost cause. Leave. Just leave and you'll be so much better. You'll be so much better. The only reason that this sucks is because you're choosing to stay.
You need to leave. There's no way around it. Now, this was all after being fitted for a tux and gowns. She cried foul and said that I was just being mean, but I didn't budge and said the choice was hers, but it was final. She wanted to go talk to Gary about it, and I said, you can call him one more time and talk about it, but if she went over there to stay and when she came back, I would get all of her stuff because I was tired of trying and getting stepped on. So basically he's like, you're moving out if you go to Gary's.
I'm glad that OP finally drew a line in the sand.
Yes.
It's about time.
She finally agreed and called Gary to tell him. I didn't listen, but I heard her raise her voice a few times. Afterwards, I asked her to block him on her phone and all social media and told her if I found out that they had any contact, the deal was off and we were done. I know this sounds controlling and vindictive, but it's the only way I know to get back to where we were. And if it doesn't work, we both can move on. There's another update, but
don't even try to make it work. She's in love with somebody else.
Zach, what is your prediction on what this next update will entail?
We tried it. It didn't work. She went back to Gary. I'm sad and alone.
I mean, Nostradamus over here.
That's what I'm thinking too.
So Clara and I had a productive discussion this morning and we agreed to couples counseling this week. Oh,
okay. Are we turning the ship around?
We might be coming back.
I don't think so. But let's take a ride.
She deleted her Snapchat and WhatsApp and showed me her phone and said that she has nothing to hide and wanted to be transparent. Gary tried to call me several times this morning and finally sent a text wanting to talk with me. I answered his next call and we argued a little. I told him I thought my first proposal was more than fair, and when he shot that down, I felt it was time for a different course of action.
Beat him up.
Eat him up.
Yeah. Take his dirty laundry and put it on the grass.
There we go.
Yeah. And I told him that Clara is free to walk away from the agreement we made at any time and that it was totally up to her. I told him I thought he was out to break us up, and if it was up to me, I would veto their relationship right now. He made a bunch of stupid remarks to piss me off, so I just hung up and I blocked him.
Okay.
We have another update. Are you still?
Yeah.
We're still riding with eventually they're going to break up.
Yep.
And
there's a fair amount left. Yeah.
She's going back to Gary by the end of this.
Yeah. Gary always wins.
Gary always wins. Nice guys finish last.
Oh, and OP is a nice guy.
Sure.
He's getting treated like trash.
But you know who finishes first?
Gary. Always.
Clara called me today around lunchtime. Gary just couldn't stand being cut off and came to her work to ask her to go to lunch and talk.
Gary, get it together. These men have no self-respect.
Definitely not doing that. I feel is negative points for Gary. I feel like OP might be winning. Gary, I think he's inside Gary's head. This is mind games, you know?
You don't think it's going to make her be like, oh, it's a rom-com and he loves me. He's bringing me. He's playing his boombox outside my job.
I feel like you can play a boombox outside like a house, but outside your place of work, I feel like is a bad look.
Yeah, it's a little
embarrassing. I feel like
it's
less romantic.
Yeah.
You know, I seem to recall a certain argument about taking a boombox somewhere and playing it with certain stipulations reparations.
I don't remember this.
The bags.
Oh, that.
So very, very quickly,
We're bringing back the bag.
We're bringing back the bags. There's a story.
Oh my God, you're getting caught up in some drama from episodes and episodes ago.
OP was down and out with his wife. The wife was at the parents in Europe. OP's like presumably in the US. OP with 2 days notice just flies to Europe, shows up at her doorstep and is like, baby, I'm here to try to make this work. I need to change. I need to do whatever. He had his bags with him.
Okay.
Presuming he's going to stay with them. So do you just
But
show
that's
up?
not on his place of work, so it's still romantic. The only line that I drew in the sand is not bringing the boombox and the bags to work. You can bring a boombox and bags anywhere else.
I agree.
Oh, you do agree?
I agree with you.
So I do win the bags.
No, you don't win the bags.
I won the
but
bags.
I agree with you now. Would you bring the bags?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Play it safe.
Well, playing it safe.
No. He said yeah. Don't dive into it, John.
In
Get
this
back on track to the story.
In this scenario,
you lost the bag argument.
It's like
die. Accept it. Accept it.
All right, I'm dead.
It.
I lost the bag. It's over. This is 3 versus 1. I'm not Clara, but this is 3 men versus 1, and I can't take it.
You can't take it anymore.
I can't take
Clara
it.
can.
All right. Woo. All right. So
team bags.
Team bags. Okay. So remember, Gary had showed up to her place of work, tried to get her to go to lunch. She refused and got loud and made a scene. She ended up getting security called to remove Gary from the building.
Oh, dude, Gary's losing.
Oh no. Now I'm
Gary's
sad
losing.
for Gary.
Shut up. What are you talking about?
Winning. He found the love of his life. She
No,
just happened
bro.
to be in a relationship with somebody
He
else.
was
This
the
is too
underdog
much.
the whole time, and finally OP's winning, and you're like, I like Gary. Do you root
This
for
is
the villains
crazy.
in the story?
Listen, Clara is the villain. Let's be very clear. Gary is just the
That actually is true. Clara
Yeah,
is
she
the
is.
villain.
She's
she's
You know
a
what?
monster.
All this time, I was like, fucking Gary is the
No.
bad person, but Clara really is the
all
bad person.
Gary did was fall in love in a
Damn.
woman, and she was technically available.
You are changing my mind on this.
As I should.
If Claire is Voldemort, is Gary a Death Eater though? Like, is he's like following
He's
her
a
lead?
Clara eater.
You know,
But-
that's true.
I think yes. I think
No.
I think Claire is Voldemort, and these guys are
Because
Gary's a Death Eater.
Gary is clearly trying to like break the relationship apart.
Because Gary fell in love.
Yeah, but
do you not
he's-
believe in love?
I believe in love, but like I don't believe in breaking relationships over just what you feel. But I do realize every rom-com is like fuck whatever relationship happened. Love is the only thing that matters.
Yeah, and love is this relationship, not that one.
But I'm not on board with that, dude.
Let's see how this plays out.
Let's keep going. He embarrassed her at work and she is livid. She then had to answer a lot of personal questions to her boss about who he was and more questions about us. When she got home, she wanted to call and talk to him. I said that was a bad idea and that she said there were things she needed to tell him and said that she would do it on speakerphone so I could hear. So I listened as she called him. She told him coming to her work and embarrassing her was unacceptable. Then she said she needed space to work on our relationship, meaning OP and Clara, on our relationship that she had neglected, and that now she needed at least 2 weeks with no contact before they could see each other. Keeps going in OP's favor. He kept trying to talk over her, but she shut him down and told him if he couldn't respect her wishes, then maybe I was right and she should cut him off permanently. Then she hung up the phone. She got off the call and broke down telling me about the fallout from work. Her boss is making her pay for a window that Gary broke as security was escorting him out.
Why does she even want to see this guy after 2 weeks?
Did we find out how he broke the window?
There's more.
Oh.
I
We
imagine
might.
with his fists.
Or he was singing.
Oh, and you just hit that high note?
Yeah.
Baby, I love you.
Yeah.
Now, would you agree that Gary is a Death Eater?
I need more context.
What
more context?
You're telling me
He's evil.
breaking a window isn't enough for you? John, I'm with you.
But she
Just
was
know.
so into him that I need to know what was keeping her there 5 days a week.
Well, there's
Well,
one thing.
Maybe that's how he broke the window. He didn't need a fist.
I think you just want someone to break a window for you.
I would love that. That's actually a very sweet gesture.
Somebody watching, break a window for Zach right now.
I would be mortified, but like also like how endearing.
Yeah. And like forever and ever, you would be like, yeah, this one time, like someone broke a window for me because they love me so much.
I mean, if someone breaks a window for you, you're hot stuff. You're hot shit.
Yeah. You're like you're window breaking material.
Yeah, get it, Clara.
Whoa. Yeah.
Whoa.
It's like if someone had a duel over you, it's like, wow, like
hot.
Yeah.
Kind of amazing.
In the mud.
Oh, there we go.
A little mud wrestling.
Yeah. Never hurt nobody.
Yeah.
And they also gave her a verbal warning at work and said that if ever happened again, that she would get a letter in her file.
Oh, not in her file.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
A letter?
I mean,
letter in
I
her
guess
file.
in the big corporate
From
structure.
Gary.
I love you, babe. I'll break any windows I need for
It's
you.
been a fortnight since I spoke to you last. I miss the warm embrace of your bosom. Please write back quickly.
Oh my goodness.
So we still have some comments and updates.
Wait, I have one real quick thing about just like dueling for love.
Oh, indeed.
So apparently in early 1900s in Germany, it was like all these German dudes had scars on their eyes and their faces because it was fashionable to get scars while dueling. And so like, you know, when you see those like movies where it's like the Nazi has like some like crazy scar on their head, that was actually accurate because they were all dueling with each other.
Oh.
And some people would just give it to themselves. So they would have a cool scar and it would look like they were dueling in glorious battle.
That's
interesting.
Crazy. But I mean, like things people do for beauty.
For beauty. For love.
For love.
For love.
Love wins.
Get some dueling scars, bro.
Yeah.
Dude.
Break a window.
I'm good. Break a window. I mean, that's one way to get a scar. My goodness. Oh, so Riley did some research. In the corporate context, receiving a letter in the file often signifies the formal documentation of the performance, disciplinary action, and it's maintained by HR for the management process. So, I mean, yeah, it seems like.
But what does it do?
It's just like keeping a tab on you.
It's like naughty.
Yeah. But it doesn't really do anything.
It doesn't sound like it does anything.
I guess it's like, hey, we have a record. So if we go back and we're like, has this person
And
had
then you're
other
going to
guys
get
break
another letter.
windows?
You're going to get two letters next time.
It's the history.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the history.
How many letters do you need to get fired?
Yeah.
I feel like having a random dude that's not even your man show up and break a window, like you need more than a letter. You need like a few
but
letters.
technically it wasn't her. Like she didn't break the window.
That's
it's not
true.
her fault. Like if one of my ex-lovers comes and like breaks some stuff, it's not my fault.
You're getting a letter.
I'm getting a letter. But like I didn't do anything.
Well, we're going to write one.
Yeah. Riley's going to write it. Yeah. Riley is a serial letter writer.
He is. They're very cute. How would my letter start?
If your ex came in here?
Came here and broke a window.
Sam, I'm disappointed. Pick better people.
That's why we broke up.
She can't be in here anymore.
That's why we broke up and we don't talk.
You should have picked better in the beginning so she wouldn't do this now.
I can't
And then
do
if one of
anything
my
about that.
things got broke, I'd be like, I'm very mad. Here's an invoice.
Love.
Riley.
I think it's fair for the person to pay. Like if one of Riley's ex-lovers broke one of my things.
Or
Actually, I don't
current
think I would
lovers,
make
I
you
mean.
pay. I
You
make
would?
pay.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I would make you pay.
Dang, better than me. Now, if you like, it depends on what
Two
it was.
people hit the back of my car and I didn't make them pay.
Wow. He's a good guy like that. But if it was a lamp, dude, just find a replacement. I mean, sorry, we've had this lamp that's in the studio.
Yeah,
We've
this
had
is
a lot of
Riley's lamp.
It's a point of
controversy
contention.
about it.
So if she broke the lamp, you would be like, Sam, find another lamp.
Yeah. Or like find something that works in my room.
That fits the vibe.
Yeah. Like you guys could have the lamp. I just need someone to find a lamp that can fit the vibe in my room. But that one's just making it happen.
Yeah.
We're on it.
We will find a new lamp.
You're getting a lot of insider baseball today on this episode. My goodness. But the lamp saga, the bag saga.
I know.
It goes really
so
deep.
many sagas.
It goes super deep.
Just like Gary.
Oh, my goodness. And speaking of like Gary, we're going to keep going. This comment comes from the Dodsworth. Honestly, hope this is the end of Gary for the both of you. Massive red flags to show up at Claire's work like this. Also, what the F is Claire's boss giving her an actual verbal warning over a potential abuser coming to her workplace unannounced? OP replies,
That's kind of what I was saying. It's not her fault.
Oh, I thought they were like only is giving her, oh, you're right. Yeah, it's like, why is she getting like punished for it, right?
And here we go. Riley is invoicing me for things I didn't do.
Clara is still extremely agitated about the incident, but I don't know that he is completely done just yet. Let's just say that Clara may have taken off her rose-colored glasses. It's been really hard not to pile on and say, I told you so, or make other disparaging comments about him. I mean, I understand the temptation. situation. Her coworker said her boss felt like her coworkers and potential clients that were in the lobby were put at risk, and the whole thing was grossly unprofessional. They went from arguing to yelling, and when Gary got physical, Clara had to go get the security guard to escort him off the premises.
Oh, so she was yelling back.
Yes. Okay.
So I can understand that. Like if it's like someone coming in and like, you know, like Roy in The Office where he comes in and is like, I'm going to go punch Jim. And then Dwight hits him with the pepper spray. Like that's not Pam's fault. Pam didn't do anything. But if Pam's arguing with him,
like,
and then, that's where I can see a written infraction.
You're helping escalate.
That's the letter worthy.
Ooh, they talked about that at The Office for a while.
Oh,
that I did.
I mean,
It's
talk
on
about tea.
TikTok somewhere.
Yeah, seriously.
The water cooler talk was heating up.
Oh, God. The subject matter and the details were that Gary was yelling at the top of his lungs. That was evidently a bit too scandalous, seeing as I had attended many company functions as her plus one and was considered her other half. Interesting. So it kind of sounds like
it revealed the openness of their relationship.
And that the company is kind of frowning upon that.
Rude.
Well, I think what people probably assume is that she was cheating.
Yes. They probably don't know what, but she said that she explained the nature of her relationship to her boss after the incident.
Yeah, she's allowed to cheat.
Yeah. She has a hall pass with the weekly check-in.
Yeah.
An unlimited hall pass.
But everyone else in the office is probably thinking like, oh, she was cheating.
That's true. That's true.
Ooh, I would be talking about this rumor forever.
I mean, come on. It's what else is happening like
so
this in an
juicy.
office?
In her file, she's a cheater.
Yeah. Now we have an update. Friday night, we had a double date with another couple.
And who should show up but Gary?
Oh, God.
Gary was the date.
Gary's dating someone else just to infiltrate their double date. My God. Dinner followed by one of the favorite bands at a club downtown. I seem to remember someone who had a favorite band that he wanted to see. But I see you in the comments if you see what might be about to go down.
Told you this wasn't the end of Gary.
Yeah.
Gary's going to be at the show for sure.
Yes.
Gary's the band.
Yeah, Gary is like, I got fired from my job, so I started a ska band.
I broke a window for you, baby. It's going to happen.
I could see that being a good song.
Right?
Like a good country song.
Yeah.
I'll break every window.
Yeah.
Because I know that
from the window to the wall, I will break it all. We'll make it through it all.
We will have a ball, and I will stand so tall because I love you.
Through it all. Come on, that's the song.
Yeah.
That's the song. Wait a second.
Well, I woke up this morning with a heartache.
I found a goodbye note, and oh, for goodness sakes.
You took my love and you threw it right out.
Now I'm sitting here so full of doubt.
Breaking windows, shattering dreams. You left me here with all these broken seams. Your love was like a hurricane. Now I'm cleaning up the mess. I can't stand the pain.
Wow. ChatGPT writing songs out here.
Wow.
Do you like that number?
I'm downloading it right now. Spotify.
Saved. Add to queue.
Pre-save.
Wow, dude. Go us. That was beautiful. Dinner was great, and we had a good table reserved at the club. As I'm coming back from the men's room, I see who else but Gary.
Of course.
Yep.
Who has spotted Clara and is making a beeline
for
her.
Gary! Oh my God.
Clara needs a restraining order.
He's
dude.
losing points real fast.
He does. He needs a restraining order. I got to the table first and told Clara we needed to leave. Gary told Clara that he needed to talk to her. And I said something like, in a week maybe. And then he sucker punched me in the face.
No.
Gary.
Yes.
Gary is like very violent.
He is. He is.
Dude, he punched a window, then he punched OP.
He did.
OP's just getting freaking the shit kicked out of him emotionally. And
Well,
He
physically.
can't win.
That's what he gets for not setting clear ground rules.
OP cannot win. I got up from the floor and just looked at him, and he hit me again. Oh my God. By that time, the bouncers had him and we were walking him to the door. By the time I got to the door, the cops had him and asked if I wanted to press charges, and I said, absolutely. Yes. I took a selfie to preserve the moment. He bloodied me up pretty good. Needless to say, we didn't stay for the show. Clara drove us home and on the way asked if I was really going to press charges and if maybe it would be better if we just let it go.
See, I think Gary's making a comeback.
Oh God, after this? Oh.
How can Clara be for this guy still?
How?
Told you, Clara hasn't been ready to quit it yet.
Oh my gosh.
She's waiting for that 2 weeks to come up, and then she's going to have to evaluate her options.
This is insane.
Oh my goodness.
I said no, I was assaulted, and he wasn't going to get away with that. By the time we got home, my face was swollen and changing colors. And when Clara saw my face, she just cried. She cleaned me up and got a couple of ice packs for the swelling. She called Gary, which went to voicemail obviously, but she told him off and said that he had gone too far and she never wanted to hear from him again. There we go.
Until the end of the 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Oh God. Please no. Let that not be the next sentence.
Update.
Oh. And then added, we were filling a VPO ASAP. And what is a VPO?
A violent possession order.
Violent person order.
That sounds more right.
Sounds very accurate.
Victim protection order.
Victim protection order. That makes sense.
Hey, we got order right.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. This morning, we talked mainly about ways to keep this from getting out of hand. She set some new boundaries for herself and a limit on how long she could spend time with a new partner.
Okay, cool. So they now are making sure they have good rules for this relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, it took long enough.
I know. She was really holding on to Gary.
Oh my God. She set some pretty tight parameters that I won't hold her to because they're not realistic.
I think they are. I don't even know what they are, but I think they're more realistic than what was in line before.
That is correct. We both have said some hurtful things in the last few weeks that have left some deep wounds, but I think we can get past it. If we can get back to where we were, I'm thinking about asking her to marry me.
Oh God.
After all this?
Oh
no.
This has instilled confidence in the relationship?
Lock it down. I mean, clearly she's got something going on over here. Oh my God. I know she wants it and thinks it will bind us closer together, but there is some trust that needs to be rebuilt first.
No shit. I would not rush into marriage, my guy. I would not rush in.
Wow. Wow.
What do you think, Zach? Do you think they should get married?
Yes, and I want Gary at the wedding. Return of the Gary.
I object.
Exactly. We need that moment.
God, you're just here for
You're
the
living
tea.
in a rom-com.
You're living for the tea and the chaos over here.
I want all the tea.
Oh my God.
I just need to know, what does Gary look like? I have so many questions about Gary. I need context.
I feel like Gary's hot.
I see him in,
I feel like Gary's pretty hot.
I don't think Gary's hot at all.
You don't think Gary's hot?
No, I think he's like a big, berry man that's bald.
I think he's like Thor.
No.
I think he's hot and Thor like.
No.
I think he like attacks people in like a drunk, like sad way, you know?
Yeah.
Like even if he's not.
I think it's still drunk and sad even if Thor's beating you up, but it's like
Thor is not beating anybody up. No. I mean,
Thor
him
is
because
he
he's
is
a
not
character.
beating. No, he is not beating anybody. Gary is not beating anybody up.
Gary just beat up OP.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Gary made OP's face change color
and
with
swell.
how
crazy.
he was beaten.
Gary's
a menace.
Class 1 maniac. But we have some relevant comments. This is from another throwaway 225-5001.
Why are people throwing away so much?
That's the question that
Recycle.
Reddit needs to answer. Yeah.
They need to throw away this relationship.
Yes, that is what needs to be thrown away. Honestly, I said it in another post. Clara asking you not to press charges would be the final nail in the coffin for me.
Facts.
Yes.
The final. There were like 10 other nails,
Yeah,
but I feel like could have really sealed
But
that deal.
at least it should have been this. If ever a partner said that to me, especially after specifically what had happened to you, that would be it. Honestly, are you okay?
Are you physically okay?
Yeah.
And like, are you sure you want to jump into this
No.
emotional freaking landfill.
To that point, maybe you should reevaluate your relationship. Really, it is not cool, and I get the sense that you are trying to rug sweep the severity of her actions.
Yes, exactly that. Everything that happened, even though it ended up in a spot that OP liked, is not excusable, and it is a massive red flag.
Yep.
We've witnessed like red flag after red flag in this story. Like we basically could have been waving this flag the entire story.
See, but I think Gary's my type.
What? The bear type?
No, like the red flag type.
The red flag.
Oh, my favorite.
Yeah.
You love the red flags.
That's why I think I'm rooting for Gary at the end of this.
Because you just want an opportunity to throw everything out on the lawn.
Yes.
Yeah. Relive the childhood years.
Yes.
We haven't had any long throws. Yeah.
The good old days.
Take me back.
No, I mean, I don't like any of them. I was trying to find which character was the most redeeming. Even OP's not, like, he needs to go to therapy. He needs to learn how to love himself.
Yes. Yeah. OP. I don't feel like OP loves himself enough.
Yeah. Like all these things are happening. And like, remember when OP was like, oh, I feel like this might be cruel and vindictive. It's like, no, like you deserve someone who's just like, hey, I'm going to be here for you, and I'm not going to like run around and break our trust and break the rules we set. Like, I don't know.
Well, they didn't set any rules.
Basically not.
No, she followed all the rules. Give her a point for that.
That's so true. Which is so crazy. Wow.
Claire is a snake that should not be trusted.
That is correct.
She didn't break any rules, and she picked OP in the end. I think she's a hero in this story.
So OP responded to all this saying, Clara asking you, so he's talking about the part where about Clara asking to not press charges. The bar was dark and she never got a good look at my face until we got home.
And she was like, it's fine.
Come on.
She's telling him not to press charges while not getting a clear shot of his face.
She saw everything that happened though. Like she saw him
attack
him. The shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's not that bad. Suck it up. And then she saw his face and she's like,
oh, sorry.
By then it had started to swell and turn colors. I don't think she thought I got hurt that bad. And when she realized it, she did a 180 and unloaded on him, even if it was just a voicemail. At first, she said she thought filing charges would make things worse, and later she was all for it.
Okay, so she's coming around.
Yeah.
But again, just red flag after red flag.
I don't know. She's redeeming herself. It's a hero arc.
She is trying to come back. She is attempting
to. Took her long enough.
I think she can come back to someone else. I don't think OP needs to be around.
This relationship needs to be done.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if you can come back from this. It's just so much trust.
But like, think of broken. Like at the wedding though, and he's like, oh, she left me and I thought we were done. And then
through it all.
We've been through it all together.
Would you air that at the wedding?
Well, you wouldn't air
this whole Reddit post where it's like, and this is proof that we should be married. And everyone in the audience is
because love wins in the end.
Gary almost won. Gary KO'd.
It was Gary
OP.
1, OP 0.
Yeah, exactly. Gary won. At least in physically. I'm not for this relationship.
Well, gentlemen.
Yes, John.
We have one final concluding update.
Let's hit it because this is,
are you ready?
Yeah, this is emotionally taxing.
This is a roller coaster.
This has been a saga.
I swear, if Gary comes back,
Gary's got to come back.
Oh my gosh,
Gary's like a cockroach, dude.
I pray.
A nuclear freaking cockroach.
I pray.
Coccular roach.
Ooh. So I filed assault charges against Gary. After the depositions, the assistant district attorney filed a felony assault charge against him and had a judge issue a victim protective order for me and Clara. That
felony,
is good.
Wow.
Oh, wow. I didn't even register. That is a felony. Good. My God. I received a letter from Gary's lawyer with an apology and a plea for dropping the assault charge because it would trigger action from a deferred sentence he had in another case.
Sounds like Gary has some behaviors that are
and also it's like
coherent and
it's like, oh,
very
Gary beat
bad.
someone else up, so they want to like punish him more. It's like, yeah, good.
He didn't learn his lesson the first time.
Yeah. He's like, he didn't get punished the first time. Can you make sure he doesn't get punished the second time?
Hello. Please. I spoke with the assistant district attorney and reaffirmed my resolve in my case. Last Thursday, Gary entered into a plea deal, pleaded no contest, and received a 6-month jail sentence versus the 3 to 5 years that he could have received, also with 3 years on probation.
What does no contest mean?
I think.
Oh, I'm not guilty. I'm not innocent. Whatever you think I am is what I am.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's like you get to decide, basically?
Well,
But
it's
I'm
like,
not-
yeah, it's like I'm not entering a plea. I'll let you determine how it all shakes out. You're relinquishing your opportunity to take like a plea deal or to fight it. You're just like, I'll let the evidence present itself.
They
and
just
let you
accept the
decide.
punishment and they don't, like you said.
Oh, okay. So he's not contesting the punishment.
Correct.
And do you know if that generally gives, because a plea deal I imagine would be like.
Well, only if there's a deal to take. And at this point,
so
it
he
doesn't sound.
accepted the plea deal, which if you accept the plea
You
deal,
have to
that
plead
means you're
guilty.
Oh,
If you accept a plea deal, you're pleading guilty to, and they'll say, okay, your sentence is 5 years. Well, we'll give you 1 year with probation if you say that you're guilty. And so you're like, rather than taking this to court and possibly
Right.
facing 5 years, I'll take a plea deal, say I'm guilty and only get 1 year. But in this case, he plead no contest just to let it all kind of shake out. There was probably no plea deal on the table given that he has a history.
Okay. Okay.
And he's like, at least he retains his, not his innocence, but his.
Yeah, because
like,
he didn't plead guilty.
Oh my God.
And he knows he's not innocent.
So he's basically going to serve a 6-month jail sentence and have 3 years on probation.
At least he's getting a little bit of jail time. Like, I feel like that's important.
Yes, yes. The judge also issued a restraining order barring any contact between Gary and either of us for 5 years after he gets out of jail. So like really 5.5 years because
That's
we'll be in
good.
jail for 6 months. God, if Clara goes back now. Clara goes back now. So for Clara, she has been to her personal therapist 4 times in the last 2 weeks and is going once every other week going forward. We just had our second couples counseling session Friday. I don't know all the details from her, but we have structured a check-in conversation every week now.
Oh, the weekly check-ins.
They're back.
Oh, it's sick. That the relationship's gonna be fine. Guys, I thought they weren't gonna have a weekly check-in, and so I was worried. But now that they have one, it's gonna be all good.
Yeah, I thought Gary ruined all
No
of it.
more Garys coming up.
Wow. She has had 2 panic attacks that her therapist has said were triggered by the guilt and self-shaming that she is working on. She has closed her side of the relationship for the near future. Thank God.
Her side?
Yeah, I guess Gary or OP's still slanging.
That's right. Yes, I think so. And when she feels ready, it will only be kink and couples events where we play together. After missing the numerous red flags with Gary, she has 0 self-confidence in her ability to recognize the warning flags when getting into a relationship. And she set a list of boundaries if she ever decides to date solo again that even our couples therapist found a bit over the top. Here are the highlights. 0 to 3 months, 6-hour date maximum, 12 p.m. curfew, once a week max.
Why is that crazy? What kind of therapists are they getting where it's just like, whoa?
What if it's a polyamorous relationship therapist?
Oh.
Because, I mean, that is their...
Yeah, polytherapist. Does that exist? Let us know in the comments.
Does that mean you're allowed to see other therapists?
Oh my gosh.
Zach with the zingers, ladies and gentlemen. And then the other stipulation, if it's 3 to 9 months in, 10 hours date max, 1 a.m. curfew, no overnights once a week, and only 1 weekend day a month.
I mean, I do like these. I do like these.
There's at least
it's
structure.
It's very clear.
Yeah.
Like if you're going home past 12, then you've broken your rule.
I'm just like, yes. Like, it's good that she's setting it for herself.
It's a little late to be out.
12?
Yeah, with like somebody else that's not your partner.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And if you
That's true.
behave, you get an extra hour. Like what are you doing with this extra hour?
Banging.
Yeah. On a positive note, she is eating better and trying to go 2 to 3 days a week to the gym before she goes to work and wants to get an exercise bike for the house. As for me, I ended up canceling a date with my other partner, and due to scheduling conflicts, we won't see each other until after Labor Day. I forgot that OP has literally been dating other people this entire time. I cannot even imagine.
I feel like there's so much to go through emotionally in this relationship. I don't know how I would function like just being in a relationship with anyone else.
Yeah.
Even if it was just physical, I feel like I would too much.
Or it could be a nice distraction.
Yeah.
Escape from reality.
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't be able to do it.
OP needs an escape. I don't know. I don't think this is it, but Oh my God. So I have plenty of time to devote to mending fences. Our couples therapist said we both had blame in our crises, mainly in our communication skills. She was particularly hard on Clara at the beginning when Clara told her side of the story. I have put most of it behind me, but I know going forward, I will doubt Clara's judgment on some things. I mean,
she hasn't proven herself to be a very good judge.
I think she's pleading no contest on that.
Oh, yeah.
The subject of our future plans came up and marriage came up, but our therapist said to not rush or think of it as a solution to our problems.
That is a good therapist.
Thank God.
Shout out to the therapist.
Last year, before everything blew up, my mom gave me my great-grandmother's wedding ring set. Being the first and favorite grandchild, she left her engagement/wedding ring set and my great-grandfather's wedding ring to me. And last year, I was thinking about proposing and had all the rings resized in case the moment ever presented itself. The jeweler that did the work gave me an appraisal and suggested that I insure it, and I had added it to my homeowner's policy. My insurance agent is also friends with my sister and let it slip, and my sister now wants the rings for her upcoming wedding this fall. Another Reddit story brewing in the mix, my God. So my sister said something to Clara, who after some snooping found the rings.
Oh, I thought she'd found out about the relationship and Gary.
Oh.
She found the rings.
Oh,
Yeah.
she found the rings. She might know about the relationship, but she definitely knew about the rings and told Clara, who found them.
That's so effed.
My sister is mad, but my mom told her to suck it up. Clara admitted to finding the rings and trying them on and has been all doe-eyed whenever the subject gets brought up. For now, no one is getting the rings and I have moved them to a secure location, but now everybody wants to know what they were appraised for. $43,000.
That's a lot, right?
Yeah.
Sell them.
That's, yeah. How much is a wedding ring usually?
Like a wedding ring
3
is
months.
3 months.
3 months.
of your
So
pay.
how much? Well, now these are 3 rings. The appraisal of 3 separate rings. But let's
Still,
divide
that's a
that.
lot.
43 divided by 3 is 14.3
Okay, that's
each.
about- that's fair.
That's more reasonable.
Yeah.
But
What a saga.
right?
What a saga. Is there more?
Yeah, are there more updates? I feel like the story never ends.
Yeah. I'm like, I've never really wanted to be in an open relationship, and all of the stories that talk about open relationships make me want to be in one less.
Yeah.
It's very common with like gay guys to be in open relationships. I just could not do that. I would fall in love with Gary.
Yeah.
And then leave.
Uh,
And like poor OP. Like if I had an OP, like I would just.
it is inevitable that it happens, but the chances are higher.
It's pretty inevitable.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna get hurt.
Yeah. Unless you have really, really good rules.
Well, someone's gonna get hurt, whether it's your partner or somebody that falls in love with you and then they can't be with you. Like
one of the extraneous partners.
yeah, and then you're stuck in the middle and not the kind of way that you like it. You know.
Yeah. I mean, that has to happen like damn near 100%
Yeah.
because it's like someone's going to be interested in you because you're dating other people.
Yeah.
And maybe they're like, I want it exclusive. I don't know.
And then I guess you just
And that's
shut
not
it down.
fair.
but- yeah.
Not fair. But you know, what is fair and wonderful is that we have one final small story.
One
to
final
close
small
it out.
story.
A teeny tiny one.
I have the prostitute thing about making extra holes.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Okay, story time.
Okay, story
God.
time.
Answer, you fool.
Hello.
Hey, Daniel, real quick, can you please
Yes,
explain to me?
So this is Riley's okay story time.
Yeah, you're on OK Storytime right now. Can you please explain to me the extra hole that the prostitute had in Chattanooga?
Well, yes, this was in Georgia.
Oh.
But so she got her gallbladder out. This is what the EMT said, the ambulance on the scene. They said that she got her gallbladder out. She had a bag that drained bile from her gallbladder. She would take this bag out and let people do things with her bile drainage hole.
Oh.
Which is quite disgusting.
Where was the hole located?
Where was the hole located?
It was like around the rib cage, I believe. Strange spot.
Oh.
Strange.
Thank you,
How did
Daniel.
it feel?
Oh, I'm sorry you had to hear that.
Thank you, Daniel.
Wait. Were there any reports on either end of the sensation?
Oh yeah, how many times did the guys go back to her?
Probably as many as they wanted.
Oh.
I don't think we know, but that's all he knows.
Okay.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out
Self-draining.
how many holes a person could have, and Sam said you could create holes, and then he made his hands circles.
But you can also create holes surgically.
Yeah. Thank you, Daniel.
No problem.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, that was
I'm gonna throw up.
I'm gonna come.
Oh no!
I am sorry. I am sorry for that. It was just low hanging fruit that I had to pick up.
Did she? Yeah, I have so many follow-up questions.
Has anyone ever heard of that?
No.
Put your answers in the comments below. Okay, I do have a story for you though.
Okay, a short one to close us out, baby.
All right.
Does it beat the extra hole in the prostitute?
Oh God.
I don't know. I don't think it could. Which one, Riley? Today I effed up by calling the cops on what turned out to be a poly play party. How do I fix this? Zach, how does one fix this?
Why did you call the cops?
Because they thought they were being robbed or something.
Oh, how do you fix it? You ask the cops to join.
Ooh.
I was gonna say you join, but get the cops in on that.
I mean, they're already on their way and they're in uniform. Like,
and they can just as easily take that thing off.
yeah, they have a baton.
Yeah. Somebody filed a noise complaint.
I am so happy with how you responded. I cannot wait for this story to continue.
Adding so much. Oh, okay.
So the wandering writer says, a while ago, my car was damaged, scratched doors, and I filed a report with the police, but they said there was nothing much they can do as there was no witnesses since the parking spaces are a bit out of the public view. The officer did, however, say that I should keep an eye out since my house is basically the only house with a direct view on the lot and report any suspicious behavior. It also wasn't the first time cars got vandalized there. She also told me a colleague of hers parked his car there and cars of cops have been targeted more since they also policed the rules around COVID, like keeping distance and wearing masks. And she described the fellow cop's car as a black BMW. So basically, like, there's some vandal on the streets vandalizing cars and specifically cars that are owned by cops. Okay. Fast forward to today, and I see a guy and two girls hanging out at the lot. I hear some commotion and laughter. As I go to check it out, they quickly walk away. A bit later, I see them there again, this time around the black BMW, looking around as to not get spotted. So it looks like they're kind of acting suspicious.
Right.
So I decide to call the police to give description of the three what I guess to be teenagers. Not 10 minutes later, I see a cop car pull up and two officers walking up the lot. I watch the conversation and suddenly one of the cops walks towards me, not happy. Apparently, he's the owner of the car and the three teenagers were taking lewd pictures with the car as part of a relationship. He said it was his wife, who's almost 30, her boyfriend, and their girlfriend. And now his colleagues know about these relationships because I snitched on them.
Oh. Whoa.
So basically, his poly relationship got uncovered.
So he was involved as the cop.
He was.
There we go.
Yeah,
See?
he was right. He called it.
You are Nostradamus. You did predict that. Wow. Wow.
How many poly relationships are just going on under our noses?
Apparently a lot.
It feels like a lot.
Clearly, with the cops and everything. I feel like he shouldn't have been upset with the caller, though.
No.
You can't.
If you see something, say something.
Also, it was his car.
But the politics at work's going to be very awkward now.
Yeah. Maybe he was like disgruntled in general. He's just like, just taking it out on.
Did you guys, speaking of politics and open sex, did you guys see the video of the people having sex in the Senate? Was it the Senate or the House of Representatives?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What is this?
Oh, John, you're going to love this.
Oh, God.
Are you pulling up the video?
Oh, my goodness gracious.
It was wild.
Look, dude, it's that person?
Yeah, from behind.
Who is the
What?
person giving?
And the old man.
Wait.
No, it was that guy?
No. Or maybe it was. I don't know.
Wait. See the picture with the, yeah, that one.
This one?
Yeah.
I'm the victim.
Whoa, it's, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Because, I mean, they have to have cameras recording 24/7.
I feel
like,
yeah. I don't know why.
How
like,
dumb
like
can you be?
would, I mean, unless you're trying to launch
Yeah,
some
see,
OnlyFans
it was
career.
the two of them.
No way.
Yeah.
Wait.
It was them two?
Yes. It was, well, I know it. Oh.
Wait, that looks fake, though.
That's, yeah, I think that's fake.
Wait, no way it was them two.
Well, who else
Can
would
that
it
guy
be?
still get it up?
Viagra.
True. Fact check.
We have the technology.
I feel like of all the careers that probably have the most poly relationships, I'm thinking politics.
Yeah.
I don't know if because poly implies there's like knowledge consent everywhere.
I think I that's what I'm saying. Like maybe this wasn't, but I think
I think. Oh my God, that is
that
so
him?
intense.
fully out. Yeah, I don't know. That is the.
It's hard to tell.
That's one of the people. But
That's one of them.
Who was the other person?
It's the old man.
No way, it's the old man.
I mean, I don't.
can't.
I don't want it to be the old man, but he keeps coming. Oh, that's Mitch O'Connell.
Mitch
No.
McConnell. Dude, yeah, Mitch McConnell did have some strokes going on. Oh God, you can cut
Who
that out.
was it?
Senate staffer. See?
Oh, but no. But he
was
he
his
was the
office.
staffer for that guy.
Oh, it was his staffer that invited somebody else in to do.
Yeah.
the boom boom.
I think the person that was giving was basically like outside of
Grinder.
Yeah, it was like Grinder
There we go.
to say to show up to the Senate.
Do you see? Imagine
if you get that notification,
drop.
it's like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
Dude. Like, can you really pass up on that?
Where's the video?
probably on Twitter.
Oh, you know what he has to do now?
What?
Oh God,
Launch the OnlyFans.
have to drop an OnlyFans.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You have to.
Like
I mean,
turn lemons into lemonade.
Yeah.
you'll become a
And
multimillionaire.
Find people that look like other politicians, and that becomes your thing.
Wow.
Lookalikes. Mitch McConnell lookalike.
Mitch McCocknell.
There we go.
Dude, see, you got it. You got it locked down.
Wow.
But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of crazy sex stuff that happens in the political sphere.
I mean,
All about
especially back
power.
in the day before like
Oh yeah.
video cameras and whatever existed.
Bro,
Like,
I think there's even more going on.
yeah. Wow.
Anyway,
Anywho,
what's your favorite political scandal? Put your answers in the comments below.
My wife asked me for an open marriage because she can't leave her affair partner. That's not how it works. Similar thoughts. What? Hi, everyone. Strap in for a doozy. I could tell. To give some much needed context to the situation, I, 27 male, met my now wife, 27 female, via a dating app in late 2015. We spoke for a month before meeting in person for the first time, where I asked her to be my girlfriend. By the way, this comes from you-upstairs Fox 2852, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to ROK Storytime subreddit. So she said yes, and we were long distance for 3 years before moving in together in 2018. I moved away from my family and friends, and we found a house in the same town she was already living in. I proposed the following year, and then we got married in 2020.
Things move fast.
After that, we started trying for a baby. Speaking of moving fast. It took some time, and the pregnancy was very rough for my wife, eventually leading to a C-section. But our son was born in October 2021 and is now nearly 3 years old. This is where things get complicated. Leading up to our wedding, one of the bridesmaid's sisters had a boyfriend who came to the wedding as their plus one. My wife ended up becoming friends with that boyfriend, and a few months later, after we got married, they started getting closer, and people began commenting on it. Okay. Not wanting to be an overbearing, jealous husband, I brushed it off. People of different genders can be just friends, right? Some more context and what I think drew them together. My wife and I are both very introverted, though she is slightly more outgoing. I prefer staying home rather than going out. And in hindsight, I may not have put enough effort to plan dates outside of the house. At the time, I thought we were both enjoyed doing things at home, and now she just had a friend to do outdoor activities with. They grew closer over time and were best friends during the time we were trying for a baby. People kept commenting, but I brushed it off, trying to be supportive of her having a close friend. She had struggled to make friends in the past, which I could relate to. So they clashed quite a bit, and it was often the shoulder she cried on. At one point, they stopped being friends altogether, and given how upset she was, it almost seemed like a breakup. They became friends again, and one night while they were out together, I noticed she hadn't logged out of Facebook on her computer. Are they gonna look? Yes. Stupidly, I snooped on their messages. I discovered that he was in love with her.
Oh, nice.
And she had developed feelings for him too.
Oh, not
crap.
nice.
But she wasn't acting on them because of me. I confronted her about it. She admitted he had confessed his feelings before, and she had turned him down, which led to them stopping their friendship. Okay, so that was the thing that ended the friendship. But when they reconnected, they agreed to be just friends again until she also developed feelings for him. I wanted to trust her, so I let it go.
Uh-oh.
By October 2021, close to Halloween, our son had been born. My workplace was going out for drinks after an office quiz, and we ended up meeting with my wife, my sister-in-law, the best friend, and a few others. Despite my usual dislike for clubs, I somehow ended up in one that night. And with booze in my system and whispers from friends and colleagues about how the best friend was acting too close to my wife, my anger started building. It all came to a head when my colleagues made an effort to separate my wife and the best friend while trying to bring my wife and me together.
That's bad.
This upset the best friend and he decided to leave. My wife followed him.
No.
Someone whispered to me, "This isn't right. You should go after them."
Thank you, whoever said that.
That was the final straw. I went downstairs and saw them sitting on a sofa, embracing in a goodbye. In my wasted, furious state, that was too much. I told the best friend it was time to leave, and when he got up, I old 12'd him in the face.
Ooh.
Club staff quickly separated us, and I left suddenly very sober, walking all the way home.
This is really bad.
So the next few days revealed even more about their relationship. My wife convinced him not to call the police on me. However, she was up in the air about leaving me,
Whoa.
saying the old 12ing him made her question whether I was a safe person to be around. Mind you, I had never the old 12'd anyone before and hate confrontation, as you'll see more of in this post. She admitted that she hadn't full-on spicy sleeped, but had been intimate in other ways until became very heavily pregnant with our son.
Whoa.
She said she had been feeling guilty for a while and they had stopped once our son was born. She admitted she had been unfaithful and that our trust was broken. Still, I wanted to stay together and rebuild our relationship because I loved her and wanted my son to grow up in a whole family. We talked it out and agreed to stay together. She promised to go back to being just friends with the best friend.
Why would... I feel like OP is just not putting any boundaries here.
Meanwhile, he was trying to convince her to leave me and be with him instead, though that was hardly an option. He lived with his parents and had no job, so he couldn't provide for anyone. A few days later, my wife, the best friend, and I sat down for a conversation.
Whoa.
He gave her an ultimatum, him or me.
What?
My wife is notoriously bad at communication.
Shocked.
It's hard to get any kind of response from her. She tends to just sit there expecting others to do all the talking and figure things out. But the best friend wanted her to say it directly. Dude, the circumstance is so, oh my God, so bad. He wanted to hear her say out loud that she was done with him romantically. So we sat in silence for a long time.
I would be like, no, I need an answer now, or one, get out of here. I would put my foot down again.
So eventually,
yes,
she chose me, but only in silence. He demanded she say it out loud, and she finally did. I thought that was the end of it. The best friend and I shared a weird hug.
What is this story?
What? Why would you hug him?
Why, dude?
I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why.
We're not sure why.
Maybe some subconscious apology for how he had to come into our lives and turn everything upside down. Despite my wife saying she was done with him romantically, they remained friends.
No.
But not for long. She continued to feel guilty because she would occasionally slip up and kiss him.
What are you doing?
Like an idiot, I excuse these mistakes for the sake of keeping our family together.
I think you're bad at communicating, my guy.
A few months later, she brought up the idea of an open relationship, a way for her to have everything she wanted.
Oh my God, I am tired of this.
Without guilt or consequences.
I am tired of this.
I could see she was struggling. We were both exhausted from taking care of a baby, and she had suffered from severe postnatal depression. She had also struggled with depression at the start of our relationship and before.
I wonder why.
By the time we got engaged and married, she had improved significantly and was off her medication, but the pregnancy, combined with this whole love triangle, had brought her right back down. So being the idiot I was, I agreed to an open relationship to make her happy.
Who's a bigger a-hole here?
It's not that he's an a-hole.
You're just an a-hole to yourself.
He just doesn't...
Into your relationship.
He doesn't know how to respect himself, and that makes me deeply sad. So, being the idiot I was, I agreed to an open relationship to make her happy.
I just remembered a very sad, tragic tale.
Oh, what is it?
I remember when a young Samuel Donner, he wanted to join the cool kids, but instead of labeling you as one of the cool kids,
they called me Salad Boy because I ate nothing but salads and could not trade my lunch for a lunch. Cheese really anything.
You know what community will always welcome you with open arms, Sam?
And make you feel like a cool kid?
The great people who have OK Storytime memberships.
Oh, I heard that 60+ hours of members-only content Monday, Wednesday, Fridays.
You heard right, Sam, and it's only $5 a month.
So go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join. Now back to the story.
Chomp, chomp.
This open relationship lasted until around April of this year. She was happy having her family life with husband and child with me, and then her outgoing fun part of life with the best friend. I did not see another woman during this, as I was committed to my wife, even if she wasn't fully committed to me. My main reason for sticking this out was mostly for the sake of my son. I wanted him to have a proper family, and I just wanted a simple family life. The other part was fear or shame.
How do you not understand that?
If I left, it would all come out and everyone would know. I have a good relationship with my in-laws, and my family is currently planning to move down to where we are because they want to spend more time with my son. If I leave, it will ruin so many relationships, and I fear the blame will be on me for not stopping it sooner, so I soldiered on. Even though I was miserable most of the time, I did it for my son and my family so they might be happy, and seeing them happy would help me forget or at least block it out. So during this whole open relationship, while our side was fine, we had family trips and holidays, and my wife and I were still able to be intimate with each other in the very rare times that our child allowed us to be. She wasted no time having spicy sleep with the best friend. They would go out in the evening a few times a week and sometimes away for weekends together.
This is insane to me.
He did not like hearing my name even being mentioned, so when they were together, I'm sure they pretended like I didn't exist. They had even taken our son for day trips to farms and soft play when I was working, and that was one of the few times I had the guts to say something and say that he was my son, and then the family stuff should remain with the actual family. Myself hearing his name was quite the opposite. Whenever they fought or had some kind of disagreement, shut up, I was the shoulder to cry on and the empathetic listener as any suggestions fell on deaf ears. Whenever I felt close to caving and leaving, my son would float into my mind and it would stop me every time. In April, this all came to a head. She had said they'd been fighting more and more. He'd spending more time on his phone when he was with her, and this resulted in her half-heartedly breaking up with him to try and rouse something out of him, but he took her at her word and broke up with her. She backpedaled and tried getting him back, but he ended up going no contact with her. She was inconsolable for weeks, and I was there as always to pick up the pieces.
You're the best friend!
So I was always there to pick up the pieces while she was physically ill and cried, and I and her parents looked after my son. She'd attempted a few more times to reach out to him, and each time this relapsed her progress in getting over in him. She had even tried to go back to being just friends, but either he couldn't do that or didn't want to. They had met a few times with my son as some kind of intermediary to force them to.
This is insane to me. I am dumbfounded. This is one of the most dumbfounding stories I've ever read.
So to not be intimate if such a feeling arose, but after that he said he couldn't be just friends, and they finally cut it off again, and she blocks him on everything. I finally felt some sense of relief. I'm sure, like my efforts had been rewarded somehow, then by staying, I now finally have my wife back, and we could all move on, and my life would finally be normal again.
How do you move on from this and be like, yeah, that was great. My relationship is wonderful. My family's wonderful. My life is wonderful. I am, again, dumbfounded.
Now it is almost September. To take her mind off of him, she has gotten into writing spiritual journals and has started her own business. Wow, that's actually good news.
I don't know how to feel.
She was in childcare before becoming a full stay-at-home mom, but she's now using her qualifications for her business and has been doing very well. No way. What's her business? I've been very supportive, even helping with purchasing a domain, setting up emails, and creating a website. My issue now is that I don't think she loves me the same anymore. The last time she and the best friend were intimate was when she was very emotionally vulnerable. From what she said, he took advantage of that, and they had spicy sleep before he then dumped her. This contributed to her becoming physically ill. At one point, she wanted to be intimate with me again, so the last time she had spicy sleep wouldn't be tied to that traumatic experience. She took the time she needed, and eventually we were intimate again. After a few more times, she told me she didn't want to have spicy sleep anymore. She cited one of her mom's friends as an example, saying, X and Y don't have spicy sleep. It wasn't like we had the chance to be intimate very often, but I always tried to initiate when I thought the time was right. However, no became the answer going forward. I was told that spicy sleep isn't the whole relationship, and I understood that, but I also communicated that intimacy is part of how I show love. Since then, we hadn't had spicy sleep, and I can't get anything more from her than cuddling and a quick peck on the lips. So I started feeling insecure because of this and tried to discuss my feelings with her. I told her I felt unhappy and unsure about where we stood in the relationship.
Now?
She insisted that things were fine and that we were staying together for our son.
This is insane to me.
I told her it was more than that for me because I still loved her the same. She then asked if I wanted to split up, and I asked her if she loved me. She said she did, but as usual, my heart wasn't in it, and I couldn't bring myself to commit to the harder decision of leaving. So I stayed. I fear she's staying because it's the easy option or because she has no other choice since her other option left her. Maybe she's still hoping that the best friend will return, and if he does, she will leave me. I asked her if she would leave me for him if he came back, and she said she didn't know. It would depend on the situation at the time. I made my stance clear. If he came back in any form, I was done and I would just leave. Now I feel just as stuck or trapped as I did during the open relationship. I'm a good husband and father. I stuck with her through her difficult pregnancy, attended all the scans and appointments, and have been actively involved in raising our son. I work Monday to Friday, but I take over in the evenings before bedtime. I cook most of the time, and when she does cook, it's usually just freezer meal while I make meals from scratch with fresh ingredients.
I'm sorry, did you say you were a good husband? You're a good friend.
Her main complaint, which initially drove her to the best friend, was that we never went on dates outside the house. However, she never expressed this to me, so how would I have known? So instead, she went and had an affair, creating this whole messy love triangle. I've been actively trying to put some more effort into dates. Again, not the problem. There's a lot going on, so we don't always have time for spontaneous date nights since we need to organize childcare. I know that wasn't the case before we had a child, but again, she never communicated that issue back then. We're both introverted, so I thought we were perfectly happy staying in. COVID lockdowns probably didn't help, but I attempted to plan dates once things reopened. Now I feel like anything I do is just going to be compared to what she and the best friend did together, like I'm only doing it because of them. Even after everything, I still love my wife, but I don't know if it's in the same way anymore. I'm actively trying to put in effort, but I don't think it's being reciprocated. Whenever I try to express this, we don't get anywhere. We just keep going in circles. She has never wanted to be the one to make decisions, and this whole situation has played out because she let it. It took the best friend making the decision himself for the relationship to end. Does it have to be me who makes the decision here? If I leave, where do either of us go? Where does my son go? How much more will change or be ruined because of my choice? I've had no one to turn to, and I've tossed this around in my mind for years, wondering why the responsibility falls on me. So I allowed the open relationship to happen to avoid consequences and to keep everyone but myself happy, and I'm still doing it now. Can I ever truly be happy with my family again? If I continue putting in the effort, will my wife see me and love me as she used to, or is she still too hung up on the best friend, just waiting for him to come back so she could leave me or force me to leave? My priority is my son. I want what's best for him, and I've been content in misery because it allows me to see him as much as I do. If I leave, I may not get to see him as often. Right now, I only see him after work and on weekends. I love my wife and I want her to be happy, but have I sacrificed my own feelings for others too much? Yes. Is this the one time I need to put myself first and leave? Yes. If you made this far, thank you. I hope it makes sense. I'm very stuck and lost in many other things and need some help, and I put off asking for it for so long, either to save myself from a truth I don't want to hear or to spare my family and friends from all of this. Now there's an update.
Just get to it.
It seems like we've expressed
too many emotions and feelings that it's gonna be the same thing.
I don't think I've been so grilled in my life, but boy did I need it.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
I think I needed to be beaten down from a place outside of my own head for it to really get through without any excuses or justifications being made up in my mind. This is very real, unfortunately. It is very sad and pathetic, and I am very broken and need fixing. Everyone who has said, get a paternity test, he is mine. He couldn't look more like me if he tried, but the soon-to-be ex-wife,
whoa,
and the other one didn't have spicy sleep until he was already born, that you know of. There's a history of them lying to you. They were courteous enough to wait for Mr. Doormat to lay down and open the relationship. It seems like he's become self-aware.
He took the internet to get it over his head.
Of course, they could be lying, but I think given she wants to be with him more than me, the child being his would be a good way out. Thank you for the truth and the harsh words. If anyone needs a new doormat, I'm clearly a prize to behold. I apologize for the length of the original post. I had so much stored and wanted to air it out. But for those who read halfway or didn't read it at all, but still give the clear advice of leave. Thank you. I do need therapy, and I need to be alone for a while before I can love again. It is coming up to 9 years, and that's a long time, and you could say a lot of a time wasted with false hope that things would improve, but I see now it's over. The one good thing to come of it is my son, and I see now staying will do him no good in the long term. I'd finished work, picked up my son from my in-laws after having dinner as she was out for the day with her sibling. I got him ready for bed and read him stories, and he went to sleep. I could not. I kept reopening the original post, looking through the comments, all unanimously saying to leave. Recently, as 30 minutes ago, she came home and I had a brief conversation with her. I said we should split up, and she agreed.
Shocking.
I said that I hadn't felt respected in a long time, and this felt more like a friendship or roommates than it was a marriage anymore.
Yes.
It felt like I was a safe option to hold on to, not out of love, but for safety and ease.
Yes.
But if you want safety, ease, and love, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime.
Easy.
So there's another relevant update, but let's go into it. I thought about all the comments about the effects the continuation would have on my son and expressed as much. I'd felt walked over and disrespected, and I couldn't raise my son that way. Can't be the father he needs if I am not the man I should be. She left and started to get teary before she left, which I didn't expect, as she had rarely shown much of a care the last time I half attempted to convey my feelings of the relationship. So maybe she does care more than I thought, but not enough to undo everything that's happened. She has gone to sleep at her parents'. I am now alone in my house with my son. Now everything will change, but it will be for the better, however long it takes. I'm going to try and get some sleep.
My wife caught me with 3 naked women in a hot tub. Should I leave her?
Wait, should he leave her?
Yeah. Should he leave her?
I mean, are they down? Are they down?
Hey, we
If
could
they're
get
down.
Get a little spicy with it.
Yeah.
Hey, we could be throwing some flavor.
Yeah.
Maybe. What our guest, Sarah Josh, what are we thinking?
Initially, I mean, yeah, it depends on if OP is down. You're so right.
I feel if there is consent, thumbs up. Yeah, Josh likes this, but we'll
That's what
see.
it's all about. Josh likes this post.
Josh likes this.
Josh likes this. Josh, you've given us premium content today. Truly.
God, I'm gonna get so many emails tomorrow. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be.
Well, now you're gonna get emails.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, I am applying to be your third. Bill Cosby's touring in your area. Can I make a stop by your place?
My 28 male wife, Ashley, 30 female, have been together for 4 years, married for 3, and have had an open relationship for 2 years. So here, we've already established an open relationship. We both found someone very early. Ashley was dating a married man in another stable poly relationship, and I got quite close to a grad student at a nearby college. Ashley and I were both high on NRE. What's NRE, Riley?
Neural rectum
enhancers.
Exhibitions.
I feel like that makes sense in the context of this.
New relationship energy.
New relationship energy. Okay. Thank you, producer Riley. Ashley and I were both high on the new relationship energy, but managed to share that with each other, and it was so intense and special. Now, after 9 great months, my grad student got a job offer several hours away. Being slightly introverted, I kind of withdrew into my shell and threw myself into the gym to take my mind off of things. Less than 2 months after that, Ashley's Meta, my wife's partner in other words, got pregnant, and her relationship started to wind down there too. I had hoped that we could take some time and maybe travel or just spend some romantic time together after both of our breakups, but Ashley's plan was to chase that new relationship energy rush with someone new. A great plan. But she wasn't matching with anyone that she could really connect with. She started seeing more people more often. Then she scheduled a date with a new guy on Saturday night, which had always been our date night. We argued, and she ended up not going out with either of us that night. She insisted that we change our date night to Thursday because Friday and Saturday were better for her other partners, especially if they wanted to do an overnight. I'm going to pause right there. So, how are we feeling so far about OP's wife doing this?
Not great. Saturdays are our time.
Yeah. I mean, well, I got to give it up to poly people because they got like spreadsheets of people that they're with, and it's difficult for me to keep up. Like they are the most organized people on the planet, I think.
Their Google Calendar goes crazy.
Yeah, just keeping track. Like, you have a career in project management ahead of you.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you guys think? As of right now, do you think OP should...
Should OP stay or should OP go?
Yeah.
I feel like it's already encroaching a little bit. That's the only like problem here now. But I feel like if you talk it out and like you're able to say like, oh yeah, I know that this day is going to be different, but I'll make sure X, Y, Z, whatever day it happens to be. Like as long as those days are still good for like date nights with the original poly couple, I suppose. But I feel like the wording of chasing that new relationship energy makes it seem like some sort of... It does feel like an addiction how it's written out. So I'm curious if that's like going to encroach more and more. Like if this person leaves, another person comes in and decides, oh, I got to keep trying a new person, and it just keeps getting more and more.
Yeah, I think if it continues on more and more and this person's kind of like pushed to the wayside, I think I could understand. I feel like I could understand like getting upset immediately. I think right now it's more of a communication thing.
All this caused me to spiral a bit, and I was practically living at the gym with no real enthusiasm for dating for a few months. The upside was I lost 35 pounds and really pumped up my arms and upper body.
Go OP. Yeah.
Beefcake. One of my friends, Keith, from the gym, talked me into working at one of his clubs on Friday and Saturday as a bar back since they were crazy busy. It's a mixed crowd, LGBTQ plus, with a big dance floor and drag show. Sounds like a good time. By the third week, I was bartending and the MC had made teasing me and grabbing my ass part of her act. I started getting hit on, which boosted my confidence and went from introverted to the other end of the scale.
Whoa.
Dang, Opie got their confidence
Opie's having
back.
that glow up.
This is great. After about 3 months, I noticed my wife, Ashley, making snide remarks about my working out and staying out all night, as I think that she was a bit annoyed or jealous that I was having such a good time. She was still getting dealt really crappy cards from a stacked deck, as she put it. Rarely getting more than 3 to 4 dates from any one guy before ending it or being ghosted. Meanwhile, I am going to after parties or hooking up and not getting home much before the sun comes up.
Whew.
Wow.
How
Dang.
are they balancing all of that? Like, I don't think I could do a job and that as well.
Yeah, it's a lot to juggle. Yeah, I wonder. Huh.
Gay people have always been hard workers.
Yeah, right. Good golly, if they aren't the darn hardest workers out there.
Frickin' the poly community is out here doing the work.
Wait,
they got more energy than us.
Like, companies should just hire all poly people because they're just
They're
on
built
it.
different.
I'm sorry.
They already know Excel. They know Google Calendars, Microsoft Teams. We know it.
Then came the big storm, laid out in these numbers. Number 1, I knew I was going to hook up with a regular at the bar and not going to be home, so I texted my wife, Ashley, that I was having an overnight and would be home and would not be home until the next morning. I get a lengthy text about how I ruined the mood on her date and ruined things and the next day for her and had a big argument. Number 2, Ashley had told me that she was doing an overnight on Friday, so after her work, I invited a few people over to the house. My wife, Ashley, had a fight with her boyfriend and came home early to find me in the hot tub with 3 naked women. 2 were lesbians, but the picture did not reflect that. Oh, yikes. Oh, yikes. And then finally, number 3, Ashley and her date decided that they wanted to see the drag show on Saturday. Sounds like OP's drag show on Saturday. It was a packed house. We had 3 bachelorette parties in the house. They were there in rare form. I was helping the bar back clear empties from the tables, and the MC and one of the other divas were giving me the business, which only egged the bachelorette groups to get handsy on me as well. As busy as it was, I never saw Ashley, but Kevin did, but saw her leave in a huff with a bewildered date in tow. We got to pause here real quick because my God.
Have y'all ever been to a gay bar with a bachelor parties there?
Not a bachelorette
We went to
party.
the drag show in Bali.
We went to some
That was
drag
super
shows
fun.
in Bali together, which was great, but I've never seen a bachelorette party live in action.
I don't know what it is specifically with like gay bars, but they go and they get the wildest that they can ever get. So I kind of am blaming the bachelorette party rather than this man.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
The day after she came to the club, my wife Ashley said that we needed to close a relationship and work through some issues. We talked about a few of them, mostly me not being available on the weekends and not prioritizing our relationship. I had to remind her that she was the one who prompted us to move our date night from Saturday to Thursday to accommodate her boyfriend's schedule. She brought up how hurt she was when she had a fight with one of her dates and came home early to find me in a hot tub full of women, naked women at that, when she needed me to be there for her. I told her for once I was getting to enjoy the same freedom she had, and if she was having issues, then maybe she could take a step back and close her side while she got some individual counseling to learn how to deal with her issues. So is OP saying like, yo, why don't you stop seeing other people and let me
I'm
keep,
gonna still be living that life. That
sewing my oats
three
over here.
naked hot
That's
tub
a
life.
double
Is that what
standard, I
Opie's saying?
think, right?
Yeah. OP might be losing us a little bit here.
I know there's probably relationships that have one side that is open, the other side closed, and I assume that requires a lot more communication to make that possible. But I feel like bringing this up not out of nowhere necessarily, but like in this kind of like rushed, heated like argument feels a little weird. And I think that's kind of the messed up thing right now is like you figure your stuff out. I'm not gonna change anything about me though, and I'm going on break. So.
I'm going on break. No, but like I agree. She said, "Oh, let's move our date night," and he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go out partying on that date night. I'm free to go do that." And then she gets upset at him for doing that, which I mean, you can't really, she might be jealous all of a sudden, or she might have some insecurities because of what she's going through with her stuff. But you can't really like take that out on your partner. That's some self things that you got to do. However, he is still her partner, so he should still. He kind of just was like, all right, well, you deal with it. And I think that's kind of an issue in the relationship themselves. It's like, why are you guys not uplifting each other?
Getting messy on both sides. Yeah, but we'll see. Maybe it works. We'll see. I haven't missed a Thursday date night with her, although she can spend a third of it on her phone with other guys, and that's supposed to be okay. And I brought up how she literally sends 30 texts to my one. Last night, she brought it up again, and I said if she wanted to close, we could close, but it would be permanent. And I'm guessing that's on both sides. No dating or online flirting. She would have to delete all of her dating apps, Snapchat, all of her phone numbers of past hookups, everything. I made it clear if we went down this path, the next time she wanted to do so much as have dinner with another man alone, it would be as a single poly woman. Obviously, she didn't like my idea and said it was unfair. And personally, right now, that isn't something that I want either, but I'm going to just let her pour cold water over my side to appease whatever is going on through her head right now. And we do have a couple quick relevant comments from Sweet Little Cowgirl. Yikes, it sounds like neither of you have tended to your relationship with each other in quite some time. Initially her and now both of you both seem to be prioritizing random hookups before each other when your priority should be the other way around, each other's first and then your date's second. OP responding, respectfully, she was the one to move our date night to a weekend and then spend Friday and Saturday night chasing new partners, often spending overnights, leaving me home most of the weekend. I still made an effort to plan date nights as best I could, which was hard considering that we both have to get up early Friday to go to work.
Feels like they're tit for tatting. Like they're like, you didn't do this, so I'm gonna do this, and then she's like, you didn't do this, so I'm gonna do this, and it's just like this negative spiral towards what it seems like is like a breakup, because they're, again, like what a comment says, they are not prioritizing themselves at all.
No, not at all. And like very obviously, like I mean, it's one thing, it's childish just to be like, oh, you're hurting me, so I'm gonna hurt you now. I mean, that's never a good, that's not a good thing for a romantic relationship. It's not good for a platonic relationship even. Any sort of relationship, it cannot be built on a system where basically it's just people hurting each other. That's not going to make anyone happy.
Yeah, it's just a communication. Like if you're in a relationship, any relationship, and someone hurts you, it's up to you to be like, hey, that hurt me, and this is my boundary. This is whatever, we're going to deal with it. And instead of doing that, this guy was just like, well, then you know what? I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. And that's fine that he can go and do that. That's, part of their agreement about their relationship. But then to bring it up later when they're arguing is kind of fucked up, as if it's a punishment for what she did, which offended him, then at the end, you're just keeping score.
And you can even see it in the comment too.
It's not a boxing match. It's not like, all right, you got that round, but I'm coming back with a vengeance. We're not trying to Floyd Mayweather this relationship, okay? Let's.
You gotta win the divorce. That's really what you're leading towards. Win the divorce.
Wait till the last round.
That's the final round.
That's the battle to win.
But that's the war.
But we do have an update. So let's see about that final round. Last Thursday was our scheduled date night, where she again asked me to pause, reconnect, and work through some issues. Friday and Saturday nights had lately been the nights that I worked at the club, while she went out with her other partners, and she was gone often overnight, leaving me alone for most of the weekend. The last weekend, she spent both Friday and Saturday nights sitting alone at the end of the bar where I worked. I had a date already planned for Friday after work, but on Saturday, we left together and had breakfast together before going home. All this week, her phone has been silent, and I have only seen her texting a couple of times. All 3 times that we have been intimate in this week, she has been the one to initiate it, which is the total opposite of the last 9 months. We had a long talk, and she wants to make Saturday our official date night again, in addition to keeping Thursday night as well. So now we're going to 2 date nights a week. She said that she has pulled all her dating profiles down, deleted Snapchat, and is basically closing her side of the relationship down. As in, she doesn't want to seek any new partners, but stay with OP. Her only ask has been for me to not work Saturdays so we could spend the entire day together. I told her I could do that, but I needed to give Kevin time to find a replacement for me at the club. We are spending this afternoon with her family and lunch tomorrow with mine for Thanksgiving. Wow, this is leading right into Thanksgiving. My
hell
goodness
yeah!
gracious.
Let's let those fires burn. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Pass the turkey. How have you guys been? It's been a lot.
Ashley has a new individual therapist that she will start seeing next week and wants an extra session with our couples counselor for the next couple of months. She hopes, but hasn't pressed, that I will close my side of the relationship as well, but I haven't made up my mind yet. I guess we will wait and see for now. We have a couple more comments from other
so
people.
he's still not going to close down his side of the relationship.
He's still out there.
But he's going to stop working at the bar.
He's going to stop working at the bar. He's going to give...
But I'm still going to have 3 girls in my hot tub.
Gotta have those hot tub girls. Listen.
Guys. 2 of them are lesbians, though.
Yeah, we're good. The 2 lesbians outweigh the 1 straight one. That's how math works, babe. Okay, but here's the question now. Has OP now become the a-hole?
I think OP has been trending towards the a-hole since the beginning of the story. Like, he wasn't initially, but it's like, I feel like he was hurt, and it's like been progressively more a-hole-ish as he's not really meeting her where she's obviously like, she's like, I think trying to make things right, and he's not really budging. And so maybe he doesn't care about the relationship anymore, but like, if he does care about the relationship, he has to make efforts as well. And it doesn't seem like he's doing that.
It feels like they just kind of glossed over it. Like, she's like, okay, I'll do what you want, and then we won't we won't break up. But that doesn't really solve a problem. It just kind of pushes it down.
Yeah, that leads to resentment.
Because they're not addressing like the root cause of all of this that happened to.
Yeah. And I will say too, I feel like maybe it's a light, like everyone's here right now in this current moment, but I feel like you're not, like we talk about this a lot, where it's like you're not an asshole 100% of the time, or like you're never going to be always an asshole. And I feel like the partner's definitely attempting now, even after a little bit of time, even doing the tit for tat, like there's at least now an attempt. I think that's a good sign. I don't know where it's going to lead. You know, I know there's still plenty of comments where it's going to be like, oh, actually, she murdered someone. So I don't know. I'm curious now about these updates.
Yeah, let's see.
So a couple quick comments from Hayek School. Ashley is simply used to getting what she wants when she wants it, even if it takes pressing OP by showing up to his part-time job. Strategic, since this job is what got him back in the game and having fun. When she sufficiently blocks OP from what's working for him, the game will change again. Clear manipulation tactics, OP. Won't be long before she wants you to quit your job outright. That will mark the completion of her plan. She will wait a bit and magically be ready to get back out there. Interesting theory. From reading OP's well thought out posts, it's pretty clear he understands what I laid out above. While ethical non-monogamy isn't easy and certainly is a give and take by all parties involved, once certain patterns become apparent, the side constantly laying down needs to stand back up. Can't imagine how he felt those 9 months, let alone how little she cared. And OP responded. Even if it takes pressing OP by showing up to the part-time job, OP specifically responds to that line. Ashley's reasoning for spending more time at the club was to, 1, spend more time with me, 2, show that she wasn't spending time out with her other partners, and 3, Be there when I get off of work. Won't be long before she wants to get you to quit that job outright. That will mark the completion of her plan.
That seems crazy to say. I mean, I feel like some of these comments are wildly against.
Totally.
I don't know if I agree with all these comments. There's some conspiracy theories in here.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, she's an evil person that must tear down this one man.
Yeah, right. This commenter secretly is just like spying on them in their lives and just to comment on this Reddit story. But OP closes everything with this response. Originally, she did want me to quit, but has backed off a bit for now. Part of the reason I resisted closing revolved around the fact that when my resources dried up, she could flip and want to be open again, and I would have a harder time reopening than she would. That's it, right, Riley? That's all
a wrap.
She wrote. So, wow. I have many questions, but maybe a important one to ask is this relationship worth saving?
You guys, okay, now
This is a tough one.
This is you guys came prepared to make me speechless. Yeah, that's
We do like 2 + 2 = 4 on our show. You guys are doing like algebra.
Is it worth it?
So I feel like she's trying, but it just shows like I don't think OP is willing to make the effort. It sounds like OP's moved on.
I do feel a little flipped around. Like, okay, so I used to work in like a public place, and like if Sarah showed up, like I wouldn't be like, she's trying to fucking manipulate me right now.
This god dang showing up at Universal.
Like, and that's why I feel like I don't know why the comments are so like harsh on this one, but like it's very much like I feel I don't know. Like I feel like this is very. I think it should be okay. If it shouldn't be open one-sided. I don't think the communication is there currently to have it to where like one person's closed, the other person's open. I don't think necessarily the job needs to change either. I think the job can stay the same. I also don't think you should like screw up someone's income source, you know,
Yeah,
currently
true.
at least. But I staying together, I don't know.
In the future, you can screw it up though.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like she got punished in this situation. Like she started out, she had some insecurities or whatever. She was being towards her partner about it. And then by the end of it, it's like, okay, but I want you to completely shut down your side, and I'm going to go with the 3 naked women in the bar, but 2 of them are lesbians.
She's being punished. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I really think the, broadly speaking, the a-holes flipped here, where it was like, OP was like she was doing all this stuff in the beginning, and then by the end of the story, OP's still running around with his naked hot tub ladies, and then Ashley is just like, okay, I'm gonna close it down. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do.
In a weird way, I'm like rooting for Ashley. Like she's become the underdog for me, and I'm like, I want her to be okay.
Well, guys, we haven't considered the fact that getting your own therapist is a form of manipulation. Actually, is when you go out of your way to better yourself. And
Josh, you're joking about that? There are straight up people that think that getting a therapist is manipulative.
I mean, that is what a therapist does, but like a good manipulation.
Yeah. Manipulating you towards positive growth. Woo!
Oh, geez. I feel bad for this relationship. Sounds like it's not going to a good place.
I think we've concluded that this is a big frat steaming mess. And that is the conclusion. If you love us, make sure to subscribe to us and them.
And we love you. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.